So this is Crituitous RP, but
Woo!
but as you notice, I am not Teo, and I am not usually your dungeon master. And today, this is not our usual game. With Aaron and Osrin out of commission for the weekend, we instead will be delving into the world of Star Wars, to the Knights of the Old Republic era, playing using the now defunct Star Wars Saga Edition role-playing game as created by Wizards of the Coast many years ago. I will be your game master tonight, to use the proper parlance, and Teo will be running a character, playing, and we will be going right into this. So I will actually get us started. So, let's see. With a touch of, I'm going now. With a touch of gentle pressure, the Brassix Folly lands in a docking bay on the planet Telerath. This planet is not unfamiliar to the four of you. It is well known as a vacation destination for customers of the Telerath Interstellar Banking Initiative, and the Telerathians profited quite a bit off of individuals want to escape from the hardships of the galaxy's constant state of war. With such booming tourism, it was incredibly easy to remain under the radar, particularly when people are dealing in the city's underground. On this mission, you have been tasked with completing the job started by the previous squad and recovering any infiltrators that may remain. Due to the nature of such clandestine missions, there is no way to be privy to the information gleaned by the prior squad during their mission. All you have to go on is all they had to go on, a docking bay and a contact. Your contact is Dovan Generic, an Arcanian entrepreneur with business ties to the Republic military. Not unfamiliar with the name, Generic is a typical Arcanian, brilliant, clever, and vain. Now, for our viewers, since you all are playing new characters that are unfamiliar to them, how about some introductions? We'll start with Carl.
I am playing Mizod Brown. He is a Pa'awan, which is the tall, gray-skinned folks with sharp, jagged teeth. He is also from the planet Mandalore, so he's a Mandalorian, and he wears the beefy Mandalorian armor. But he has a couple upgrades on it. He has a rifle on one arm and a pistol on the other, and a cloaking device to make him less a target for other folks who want to take shots at Mandalorians. And that is Mizod.
All right. So now let's move on to, I think next in my order, we'll move on to Matthew.
I am playing Xanatos Mutt, who's a very slight, slender, short, he looks human, male. He's actually Mira Luca. He has sweet goggles that cover his whole face, not like shiny, they're like metal that cover his whole eyes, and he wears a hood. Despite his small size, he has a pretty big pack on. He generally acts as the computer specialist and support unit for the group. And if you pay attention, you may occasionally see a whisper kit, which is like a pet rat that he keeps around.
His pet rat is called a whisker kit?
The species is whisker kit, the rat is called Vesper.
Got it. All right, Casey.
I am Nagi Katabara. I am the best at what I do, and what I do isn't very nice. I am a sniper. Everything poured into that one clean, beautiful, perfect shot. That's who she is in essence. She originally came from Nar Shaddaa, and she is equipped with Krail 210 personal armor, which is very badass. It's got a jetpack, helmet, comms, short-range comms, and all that great stuff that comes in packs. She's also equipped with a heavy blaster rifle that she has called Big Sister.
Cute. And now, Teo, our erstwhile dungeon master, now behind the other side of the screen. Who will you be playing?
I will be playing Kelbrin. He is a Fosh, which is a tiny little bird-like creature. Lots of colorful feathers all over the place. He is a Jedi character. He is a diplomatic Jedi. It's all about the persuasion and the mind tricks with him. But in terms of his attire and equipment, his colorful feathers tend to be brushed back quite neatly underneath his very cleanly pressed robes, with a blue small lightsaber on his side.
Nice. And now for all of you watching, just to understand some of the context, we are taking this kind of in media res. We're assuming this is a group of people that have been together for some time, have been adventuring. They know each other. They're familiar with the way they work, and are kind of just in the middle of their careers right now. So they've all been doing this kind of work for the Republic for a hot minute. Now, you guys have landed at Telerath. As stated, you have a contact to meet. You have a mission broadly. What do you do?
Well, I think the first thing for us to do is we need to find this Devon fellow. Dovan. Dovan is our contact, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
That was what we received from command.
Where can we find this Dovan fellow?
I think they said we have to meet him at the dock. When do we land at the dock?
All right. Anybody know where the dock is?
You guys already landed there.
We're here.
Oh,
we're
yeah.
about to
Yeah, you're there.
disembark.
You're there.
We're totally about to meet him.
I know you just woke up, Kelbrin, but
Sorry.
we are here.
All
Time
right.
to get up and going.
Then how do I'd like to look to see if I can find
Okay.
Dovan. Do I know what he looks like?
He's an Arcanian. So an Arcanian is a species of intellectuals. They're scientists. They're engineers. They create things, but not necessarily from an artistic, creative standpoint. From more of a numbers and making things work standpoint. They white flesh. Their eyes are pure white, no pupils, no irises. White hair. They're basically like if you took a human and just put a bleach bomb on their whole body. That is what an Arcanian looks like. They're known for being wildly intelligent, usually out for Arcanian interests, but usually the Arcanian interests are best suited to helping people with deep pockets, and that's what they're all about.
Before we go,
yeah.
I've prepared dossiers of fake identities for people, so if we cause a ruckus, they'll blame our persona instead of us.
What's my fake identity?
For convenience sake, I've left you with the same name, but your background is different. It just says that you are a spice trader.
And me.
An entertainer. You shouldn't worry. We may not need to use these, but if any local police ask for your scanner, just give them this and you should pass by A-OK.
Well, as Kelbrin is peeking out, you do notice someone, at least of Arcanian descent, is standing out with some not handmaids, attendants, male attendants. So if you would like to address him or leave or not, if you just want to hang out here and screw the Republic.
Have I met Dovan before? Or at least I guess
You've
what
heard
I'm
of him.
asking
You've heard of
is,
him.
Have I heard of him enough to use my far-seeing ability to be able to
Ooh.
confirm that it is in fact Dovan?
I mean, I would say you've heard of him enough where you don't even need to use the Force to confirm
okay.
if it's him or not. Yeah.
All right.
You know, he is somebody who's worked with the Republic before. You've not met him, but he has at least a little bit of a reputation that you would know who he is, and it does appear that it is him out there.
Okay.
So,
I stride straight towards him.
all right, he looks at you kind of with a little bit of a look of disgust at the small bird person. that's approaching him. And he looks down. He's a tall, not tall, but tall for you, man, arms crossed, dressed in very fine clothing, mostly whites with red accents. His attendants look down at you as well. They don't have any weapons, but they do look like they would attempt to stop you if you tried something. And he looks down at you and says, "Yes. What do you want?"
I want you.
Ah, so you do. Well, apparently the last team was not quite adequately equipped for this task. So now they choose you, a small bird, to come do the job that a bunch of true soldiers were unable to perform.
I am far more capable than anyone you have ever met.
Yes, that's what the last group said. But, you know, some people just think they're better than they are. I'm not one to deal in the selection process. As long as the results are there and my results are there, then I think we'll be able to go. Is it just you on this, or is there others?
I assume we've all disembarked and like standing behind him, right?
My companions.
Hi, I'm Mizod. I'm a spice trader.
Yeah. How visibly apparent are your Mandalorian armors? Right
not
now?
apparent.
Not apparent. No. Okay. Well, he looks at you with your fangs and your scarred up face, and he raises his nose. Nah. But
What? Why don't you just tell me what you want then? What you really, really want?
I'll tell you what I want. What I really, really want. I want to come with me. We'll talk and walk. There's a lot to go over, and he leads you out of the docking bay to get you the information that he needs. Now,
double click the fob so the ship goes boop boop, locks up.
Good.
And if we have a lot of walking to do, being a small person, naturally, I just turn to look at Nagi and climb up, jump. Okay. Sit on top of the shoulder like a parrot.
Good. Now, as you are walking and talking, what is going to start? Since this is a new system for all of you, I will kind of explain what happens. They have a thing called skill challenges in Star Wars Saga Edition. What a skill challenge is it's a series of roles that you do to accomplish a goal. So you would, knowing what your goal is, you're going to come up with ways to use the skills that you have to get towards that. When you get a certain number of successes, you have accomplished the skill challenge. But you have to get those before a certain number, before you get 3 failures towards that challenge. So an example of a skill challenge, it's not the one that we're doing now, so you can get an idea of how they function, is if you were caught in the wilderness and trying to find an adequate shelter, you might have to roll survival to forage for food, or you'd have to roll perception to find a covered area. You could roll use the force to sense out to see if there's places that are free from lots of life forms that could be dangerous to you, things like that. And it's a lot of coming up with, unique or interesting ways to get the goal done that you need to get done. Now, where you are going is he is leading you to the to where his contacts have told you need to go. Although the skill challenge is not starting right now, it is an opportunity to get an advantage on the skill challenge, dealing with Dovan generic. So as you walk and talk, do you have any questions for him, things that you would like to discuss or figure out or, probe for as you are on your way to where you need to be?
I would like to see if Dovan has any information about the previous group that would be useful for our safety. So, Dovan, do you know what happened to the last group?
He looks down. Well, I guess he looks up at you because you're on shoulders. As far as I know, the previous group went in. They found their quarry, caused a lot of trouble, got my name sullied in the process, and are now nowhere to be seen. This at least lets me know that where we're going is the right place to go. Although the previous group seemed much more well-equipped for the matter. No laser swords and the like. Big guns, big weapons, big men. But now, yes.
They have been captured. Perhaps
Which
being big was their downfall. Right, Mizad?
I don't see anything wrong with being big.
I would like to use a mind trick on him to get him to stop considering us as lesser. We are the greatest team you've ever met.
So roll use the force to see what the result of your mind trick is.
Okay. A 35.
Wow. Okay. Let's see. So a 35 on your mind trick, I think that basically means you can do anything. Where did that go on my page? Here we go. Mind trick. So with the 35, so you, at least for the time being. So what do you tell him, or what do you say to him? You said you will take it seriously. Is that what you said?
We are the greatest team you've ever seen.
Well, as you say that, his kind of perks up a little bit, and he has an appearance of much more confidence in your capacity to get this job done. He no longer snubs his nose at you at all, at any of you. Although his hand attendants don't seem to be quite as taken by you. It doesn't really matter what they think, because he is very fond of your capacity to succeed. He drops you off, and he hands you a pamphlet. You find yourself at not a very evil or Sith organized place. I'm going to get that handout visible to you all. I apologize for everyone. This is my first time running on Roll20, so I'm making this work. So, show to everyone. Can you all see this? Hey! So this is the map. Oh, I closed it. I don't know if that closed it for you guys.
We can still see it.
Okay, great, cool. So this is the map of an amusement park in Telarath. Now, Telarath is, for all intents and purposes, it's like a resort planet run by the banks for their customers to spend money and unwind. And part of that is this amazing water park for families to go to, while the more business-minded members are able to, do business. They can negotiate trades, negotiate deals, while their kids and their whatever help they might have with their children can kind of enjoy the day and take their minds off of what kinds of deeds their parents might be doing. So as he drops you off, he walks you around Telarath, brings you here. You get to see the sights. It's a very beautiful planet. He walks you past all of the more ostentatious areas, places to kind of show off just the might of the Arcanian business empire, to show off this place that they've built off, because now that he likes you guys and he thinks you are the top stuff, he wants to make sure he keeps your interests, so that in the future, if you have other business needs, you know who to talk to. As you approach this, he hands you all a copy of this map. He walks you past a long line of tourists, all shapes, all sizes, pretty much a lot of species you can imagine, mostly human or human-like, but a few Wookiees, a few
Wookiees at the water park?
Yeah, it's a strange pick, but they get very hot in the with all that furs, and it's nice for them. They can ride the the repulsor coasters. They can dry off if they need to. It works out. But he cuts you past the line with all the tourists, and he brings you to the entrance. He looks at you all with a look of pride on his face at this amazing group of wonderful espionagers that he has introduced. And he says, and here is where I leave you. Remain ever vigilant while in the park. You can assume that at all times someone is watching. The Jedi in particular, and he looks at you, Kelbreth, will be under quite a lot of surveillance. Though I thought this went without saying last time, but evidently they were not wise enough to take my advice properly. Please do not make a fool of me again. And he nods with his attendants, turns around, and walks off.
I make a lewd gesture after him.
He does not.
I would. Good.
Yeah.
While we're walking through this place, and when we arrive at the next portion, I would like to have made a note to figure out what kind of security measures this place typically has.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Roll a. How would you have tried to find that out? What would have been your method?
Perception.
Perception.
Looking.
All right. So roll a perception.
While we were walking around, I would have asked him a bit for technical data on the park. Same kind of deal. What he knows about security measures. We're going to be watched. Is that cameras? Is that people? How that usually goes, as far as he's aware.
So I'll handle Nagy's first, and then I'll get to you. So with the 14, you do observe that there are guards posted. There are, it doesn't look from any outward appearance to be dangerous or anything like that. None of the guards are heavily armed, or at least appear to be heavily armed. None of the guards bear any kind of real paraphernalia or insignias outside of the local business authorities. Nothing that would indicate that there might be any Sith involvement, at the very least, of the people that are there. This isn't to say that there is none, but from what you have observed, you don't see anything to that effect.
Do they have any lethal weapons on them?
Standard. I mean, they're guards, so they have weapons that would usually be set to stun, but could be set to kill if they needed to, in order to protect the clients of this business enterprise.
Got it.
Yeah. Now, you were asking for information. Now, since he's already turned on to you guys, that won't require a roll at all. He will tell you that there are people set up to guard, and there are cameras hidden throughout the park. Standard security cameras, but it's his understanding that although the park is not run by the people that you're searching for, the people that you are trying to get may have ways to access the security footage to see what's going on. And they likely, and this is likely what he believes happened before, is that people that were in disguise in the park, that were agents of the Sith, may have seen the previous team walking around and tipped off people that would be able to use that information against them.
Are there like food stands as we're walking by?
So it's I guess now that I say this, having grown up in Orlando and not anywhere else, it's a typical theme park. So there's food stands, there's attractions, there are shows if you go deep enough into the park to look around. There are people in stupid costumes. The park mascot is a porg. And it's a porg with little flippers on its fins, and a round like a lifesaver around its waist. And so there's a handful of characters that are similar to this, that are part of a family of porgs that are the mascots of this park.
Since Mr. Generic has warmed up to us so quickly, I was like, Can I get some of this food? I want to try. I'm interested in tasting the spices of this place.
He hands you a coupon for one free item at any of the food stands that you come across, whatever suits your
I take it
Fantastic.
and I go to the nearest food stand and I say, give me one of whatever this coupon entitles me to immediately.
All right. You are handed a large drumstick of.
What did I just eat? A drumstick of what? Crap, I should have asked before I ate
Some kind of flesh, likely not human or any other kind of sentient species. It's carved in the way to make it look like it's from a bird or a bird of some sorts, but it's far too big to be of any kind of bird that you would really encounter much. Although, actually, you may have encountered a bird of the appropriate size for that drumstick. But it's
Considering
just,
Fosh is sitting on his shoulder.
I'll hand it to Nagi and Fosh and say, hey, you want a bite?
Yeah.
Xanatos, what is this?
Do I know?
Is there any way to be able to figure out what kind of meat this is?
I'll just look up a Star Wars animal. It's
physical science.
Yeah, roll it, and that'll give me some time to look up fauna in the Star Wars world.
What are we rolling?
Physical sciences.
Okay, physical science.
26.
All right, so you are
Professor
able
X has
to,
it for us.
So it is, given the stature of this planet. Oh, come on! This is.
Don't worry, Nagi.
It is
very common. That is very common food stuff. A little more processed than I'm used to, but it is just fine. It's like a giant space chicken.
It's very high end meat. It's it would be gourmet on most other planets, but since this is what it is, this is their street food on the planet.
Processed is great. I love processed. I grew up on processed.
Then you will like it very much. You should eat some.
Now, just to let
It
you all
doesn't
know,
seem like anyone I recognize. So
you can tell that by tasting it. That's impressive. The skill challenge can start now. Just to let you all know officially. The goal of the skill challenge will be to find where within this park the facility that you were tipped off about is. It's somewhere in here. The last group went missing after they came in here. All signs point to it being in this park to some extent. You have this map that you can use to help look around, go to different parts. There's a handful of repulsor coasters, there's water slides, there's shows. Basically any skill that you can think would help you find this information to locate the hidden area. Explain how you think it could help, and then we can call for a roll to.
I think it would be wise if we tried to blend in for a little bit and got on some rides. That's not me trying to do anything. That's just like, I want to do some rides. I'm like, yeah, this is a great idea. Let's do some rides. So 2 repulsor coasters later, it's like, okay, I'm done.
Oh, and for what it's worth, Generic also gave you all fast passes.
Ooh.
So you don't have to waste time in line. You can, look like tourists, so you blend in to that.
I will definitely be making this my vacation point in the future. They really know how to treat you. Yeah, they roll out the red carpet. This is a place to go.
well, the repulsor coasters are a great opportunity to get a view of the entire place, though very fleetingly. So maybe while we're in line, while we're up on the rides, we use perception to get a good lay of the land and see if there's anything that stands out to us.
Now, I would say, because a repulsor coaster, you could try it on one of those, but they move fast, and to get a real good lay of the land from up there would be very difficult. However, there is in the center of the park a tower that goes up like very high, and it rotates around, so it would be an easier way to do it. But if you want to do it on the repulsor coaster, that's also totally fine. It would just be harder to accomplish.
Well, I think we'll go on the repulsor coasters a couple of times, saying, okay, maybe this time we'll be able to see, and then eventually, when we get tired of it, move to the tower and go and.
All right. So let's have a perception check from Keldren.
Okay.
Gotta make use of these fast passes.
Oh, that is not good.
Oh, what did you get?
I rolled a 1 and got a 14 in total.
No. for such a high wisdom too.
Is there anything in my skills that allows me to re-roll that?
No, I don't think so.
Well, that's what you get for trying to see him while you're on the repulsor coaster.
I'm still dizzy from the rides.
That's okay. You get 3 failures before the entire challenge is failed. And failing it doesn't necessarily mean everything ends here. It just means things don't. Yeah.
For these skill challenge checks,
Yes.
Can we repeat the same?
Yes, you
train
can.
skill?
Although, depending on the ones you try, I'm going to describe that some of them on repeat might get a little more harder to do. If you're canvassing around looking for people or talking to guests, after a while it might draw attention. So some of them will be a little harder to do repeatedly, but for the most part, yes, you can keep trying them, just with the understanding that if you keep failing, eventually it'll cause problems.
Is there any restaurant, or is there like a place where people will sit down and they're pulling out like data pads and stuff, and there's like some terminals where people can plug in and get some just general HoloNet access?
Sure. There is a small boardwalk. If you look on the map, this is where that little bridge is over the lake. Not where the big show-looking area with the water is, but where there's some smaller buildings. There's a boardwalk area there where there's a few actual dining restaurants, some shops. There's tables. There's a few droid attendants that are helping customers out with bringing them food, bringing them things. And there are charging stations for data pads, holo vids, things like that.
I'm going to plug into a charging station with my back to the wall so people can't see what I'm doing, and I'm just going to try to hack into the program and get the computer to give me access to the park.
Okay, so roll. Would that be a used computer or a mechanics?
That would be used computer. If you're trying to access and improve the computer's attitude toward you.
Cool. So let's see it.
31.
Ooh, all right. So you are able to access some schematics of the park that narrow down where you need to go. So that is a success. So you have that one success. You need 8 total. So you have 7 to go before you are able to find exactly where it is. But you've definitely started working towards narrowing it down.
Does anybody else have short-range comms?
I have a long-range comm.
I mean, I don't have it specifically on my list, but I presume we would each have a small comm unit, either in our helmets or handheld, that we could use. Because I know we didn't do too much equipment together before we started playing, but I assume we'd all have standard issue stuff.
You all have comm links. I think that's, even if you didn't spend it with your money, I'm sure the Republic would lend you comm links for the purposes of the mission.
Okay.
Now,
Oh, no, you go.
Oh, I was going to say, for your purposes, Matthew, if this is going to be one of those instances where if you want to stay docked in and keep loading more information, you can keep rolling used computers, but it's going to get harder to succeed every time, because the longer you're tapped in, the longer you could draw attention to yourself.
Sure.
Cool. So, sorry, what were you saying?
So here's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Stop me if this sounds stupid. I'm thinking and I'm going to keep my voice down. I'm thinking that I sneak into the employees section and see if I can get my hands on some janitorial outfits. That way we might be able to get free reign past the gates.
Maybe I could get the computer to let you in so that you walk through and the doors open for you, and then you get the janitor outfits.
Okay, so what I would say, because you can aid another for these. So, if somebody wanted to roll to aid the other, that could happen. So I would say, Matthew, if you wanted to do that, roll a used computer to see if you can get those doors to open.
33.
Yes, so the doors are able to open. So we'll add a +2 to whatever roll you're going to roll to do this, to create an advantage for yourself.
That didn't work.
No,
0?
you rolled a 0?
No,
That
I
doesn't
didn't.
seem right. Yeah, no, it's fine. Try again. We'll see if it works out.
There we go. 21.
21 on a stealth with a with a +2 from the
Yes.
need another. Let's see if that is enough. All right. So you managed to get backstage, as they call it in the theme park biz, and you catch the eye of some employees. They don't recognize you. You're not somebody who's usually back here, but you do find a closet with some uniforms. You find only 2. None of them are appropriately sized for a quash. They're all for medium-sized creatures. So it wouldn't have really done much if you found 4, but you do find 2 that you can use to help with future, sneaking around.
And grab those and get out quickly.
Yeah.
I found 2.
Yeah. How about, since we haven't heard, besides from the food, from Xanatos? What would Xanatos be doing right
From
now?
Mizad, Xanatos is hacking away in his computer program.
Oh, sorry. I'm trying to square away all the names. Yeah.
Well, when we get closer to our objective, I will be very persuasive or intimidating, depending on how the circumstances line up.
Okay. So are you going to mostly sit this out and let the more skilled monkey characters do their skills? Is what I'm gathering.
Well, I have a very particular set of skills, and they're talking to people, and that's it. So I will wait until it's time to talk to people.
Okay. Understood. So how about Kelbrin?
While Nagi is out getting costumes, could I begin approaching some staff members that I can see and trying to persuade them into giving me some more the dirt on the place, maybe convincing them that just trying to persuade them into giving me all the layout and extra information that the computers might not have.
Right. Are you going to do this with a force power, or are you going to use this just by talking to them right now?
If I understand it correctly, I can always use the force in place of persuasion checks.
Sorry. So what I mean is, are you going to use like a mind trick to get this information, or are you just going to talk to them using your natural persuasiveness through the force?
Yes.
Okay.
Just natural persuasiveness, trying to look like a concerned citizen that would love to get to know a little bit more about this business.
Okay.
Force.
All right. So roll a use the force to talk to them.
35.
Ooh, good. Persuasions are actually one of the hardest ones that I set for this, but you still got it. So you managed to find a few employees, and you so what's your conversation? You have succeeded at this. So what is the
Hello.
trajectory?
I new here. It's a fascinating place. I don't know where I should be going. I was told I was to report here to start work in some of the back off. I've gotten lost. If you could perhaps help me to find out where I need to go to speak to some of the security people in the back, that would help me figure out where I've got to go.
Okay. The employee that you approached is actually a standard issue protocol droid who is set up at a kiosk to help guests and the like. Turns around, looks down at you. Why, hello, diminutive Fosh friend. It is so good to see that you are joining our ranks in the theme park. I see based on your garb that you must be here for the Jedi stunt show that will be set to open shortly.
Yes.
In order to get to where you need to be, please follow the back door presently. There are a series of supervisors that can help you get what you need to go. Just to your right, to the right. Yeah, yes. To your right, the right. I'm getting turned around. Yes, perfect. Thank you very much, small bird person.
Please
Any other-
remember, you have official credentials that say you're an entertainer.
Oh, that's true.
Ha! Perfect. And with that, I do a flip and pull out my papers.
Great.
I'm
You flip
off
successfully.
to work.
All right. So we're getting there. We have 3 successes so far.
So with that, if I understand our current situation, we have a map of the
You have a map
layout
of
of the park, the more details that came from the computer. We have uniforms for everyone except Xanatos, I'm assuming, maybe. And I have convinced them that I am here to work.
Well, you convinced that droid that you're here to work. You were able to
that
get information from the droid.
But I can get the information, so we can push along that kind of route. Okay.
I'd rather not try to get that janitor outfit on over my armor, or take off my armor in order to put that on. So, Xanatos, do you want to wear that janitor outfit?
Provided it fits me. If it's as tall as you, I will drown in it. Nagi, what size uniforms did you get?
They're all
one size fits all.
Yeah.
Oh,
They come in small, medium, and large, and there's not much of a difference between them.
wonderful.
Amazingly enough, I'm in Mizad's place too, where I would not want to take off my armor in order to do any of this.
You would be able
Well,
to fit it over.
These are baggy. They are baggy clothes. You should be able to go over most underwear.
Perfect.
My
Yeah, it would
backpack would have to go on the outside, but I can leave my other accoutrement on. Isn't that right, Vesper?
Yeah, the uniforms would fit over light armor. It would be snug over medium armor. Not at all. Well, yeah, it'd be snug over medium armor. It would not fit over heavy armor.
Good.
Are these like onesie jumpsuits?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not like these are like janitor outfits. They're not like regular park employees. These are the people that are sweeping up after the gross tourists and the like, cleaning out the trash cans. But yeah, so what other let me try. So you can try
What the section that we're the restricted section?
yeah.
Is it made of buildings? And are the buildings somewhat close together to each other?
So the restricted area, the employee area, is it's buildings and it's kind of open area where they can walk around. There's buildings that are where they go, and there's back behind the scenes areas where they're able to walk from place to place or take little repulsor shuttles that can get them faster if they have to get somewhere quicker. So it's a combination of buildings and not buildings. The buildings aren't too close since it's a little spread out outside, but they're not. It's not like miles or yard. It's it's yards. It's not miles.
I may be able to parkour my way along the rooftops and see what I can see.
I would, yes, absolutely. Try it.
Climb up along an outside wall.
All right.
We haven't gone up that center spire thing yet either.
While Nagi does her field trip, why don't you and I go up there? And where did Kelbrin get off to? I'm just noticing he's gone.
Calvert, come in, Calvert. Where are you?
I'm busy getting work.
There's people like fitting you for costumes right now. You see there's like while this conversation's going on.
I'm hired to pretend to be a Jedi. How crazy is that?
You're a Jedi with entertainer papers, putting on a show, pretending to be a Jedi. Oh, good.
Do you think you can pull it
Love
off?
it.
I don't think I can make a living out of it, but at least it can help us for a day or two. The pay isn't very good.
No.
Right.
Well, they
if
say
I'm in the
you
back-
don't
yeah,
do it
sorry.
for the money. You do it for the love of the show.
Yes. If I'm around back and there, like I'm I'd like to see this. I'm intrigued by this Jedi show, and what kind of access an actor would have in the back end. Is there any way? Because all of my skills are basically persuasion and communication based. Is there anything that I can do while I'm backstage to
gather information?
Yeah, to gather information.
Incidentally, that is a skill.
There is a skill, for gather information specifically. Where is it we're actually trying to get to? Like, I know the security room, right?
You know that somewhere in this park there is a hidden area that has been co-opted by Sith baddies. And so what you're doing is scanning the park to find that hidden area. You've been able to get to behind the scenes parts. You've tried unsuccessfully to scope it out from the air. And right now, you guys have access backstage to see if you can get a better idea of where this might be. So when it comes to gathering information, you could talk to employees to see if they can get you what you need. If they've heard anything, any buzzing, you could, So I'll let you.
So I will roll a gather information check.
Great.
Right?
Great.
A 20. Mm.
All right.
It's not a force. I don't do well.
Yeah. So when you start asking around, it is not success. The roll is not successful. Just, but that's okay. You still have one failure remaining for this. Now, you said it was a 20 is what you got?
Yeah, I got a 20.
Okay. Yeah. So you are able to, through talking to some employees, you get the idea that something is going on. Some of them have been noticed, a few people that aren't necessarily who they're used to seeing, but not in the sense that they might be new employees, but that they make them feel uncomfortable. Just their aura makes them feel uncomfortable as they walk by. However, you seem to maybe have asked one too many people about what's going on. So although you got some good information, you may have caused a little bit more difficult of a situation for the group of you.
Has this then identified to me at least one individual that is a bad guy?
Yes. There is actually the director of this show that you are allegedly hired to work on is one of the people that the actors and the other people backstage are not very fond of. That makes them feel a little uncomfortable.
Okay. If I can assume that he knows, he can find the location that I need, I would like to use a mind trick, my second and last mind trick that I have, to try and convince him to go to that location. I won't go with him, but to get him to go to it.
Ooh, if I can be up on a rooftop by then, that would be great.
So you can see this as well? All right, so roll use the force to use your mind trick.
Okay. Come on.
Azad and I are going up to the tower right now, I guess. Just riding the turbo lift to the top.
What is...
Another 35.
Nice. All right, so that will count as a success.
The force is strong with this one.
Yeah. So what is your hand wave?
So you will ignore me and head straight to those that run the place.
I will ignore you and head straight to those who run the place. He starts walking, and he leads you to the tower, the one in the middle of the park.
Mm-hmm.
And then he stops walking once he gets there.
Okay.
Now, Nagy,
I should have told him to go up. I wanted him to go into there and actually.
Well, no, so he leads you into the chamber, but there doesn't really appear to be anything else from in here. Okay. Nagy, you're going to try to keep an eye on this. Is that right? Roll a perception to see if you notice this happening. 22. Let's see. Now, you guys are also watching, right? I'm trying to think of ways to.
I had thought that Mazad and I were going to go up because the idea was I have a schematic.
Yeah.
So we were going to go up, and I was going to say, here's the schematic. See if there's like areas of construction that aren't on the map, to see if there's something that's exists that isn't part of the official schematic. But I think the idea is we're going to be up there like looking around, and if we see a little purple bird person following somebody, that would probably catch our attention.
Okay.
If I saw them, I would also let them know too.
Yeah. So let's see. Well, you had a 22, right? So you don't necessarily see him and the director go into the capsule. You do notice a little more general bustle in that direction. So
Can I get any closer to what the bustle's about?
Yeah, so you've noticed that something's going on that way. For perceptions, it's not a success, but to fail it requires not just not hitting the DC, but not hitting the DC by a certain degree. So it's not, you don't see exactly what's happening. It doesn't give you enough to push it forward, but you didn't fail, and you can get an idea of kind of where it's going. Now, Xanatos, you said you were going to try to get some more schematics.
Well, I had initially, when I had first hacked the program, you gave me like a basic schematic of the park, right?
Yeah. Right.
So my thought was, we have one, we'll go up to the top of the tower, we'll look around, and if the schematic says that there's nothing over here, but we can see that there's been some construction or that there's evidence of use, then maybe that's where the secret base they don't have on the schematics is.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking when I was going up there with Mazad.
Okay. Yeah, try it. You also do notice not strangely, you're very familiar with this kind of attitude from a person. A human walks in with just a kind of blank look on his face, followed by your friendly Fosh friend, followed by Kelbren, and just kind of stop walking once he enters the capsule, which, to the delight of the tourists that are also in there who think this is just part of the show, a Jedi is leading a very unsettling feeling man into this capsule. But you want to look from up top to see if you notice anything askew.
Well, if Fosh walks in as some mind-controlled guy, I'm just going to pretend I'm part of the crowd and try not to bring attention to myself.
Well, but the crowd is also, the reason you go on this ride, you would go up to the top and look around. So it wouldn't be out of place to do that. So if you want to do that, that's still an option.
Great. Then I will do that.
All right.
Is Mazad with me?
Yes, I'm right beside you. Can't you see me?
Sometimes you loom so large, you become simply omnipresent.
I was making a joke about your eyes.
Oh. Ha ha. Ha ha. Very good.
Over comms, you can hear some giggling.
Actually, how far can you sense with the Force?
So the way it works, I don't think it gives you any, I can't see further. What it is you see you just through the Force. So you get to ignore partial cover and partial concealment, but it's not like I can see the entire planet. I think it's normal kind of vision stuff.
Okay, cool.
Where you're kind of focusing, the Force brings it to you, and if it's too far away, you just can't focus that far.
Cool. All right, so roll your roll to do this.
Deception to blend in or perception to see?
It's up to you.
I'm slightly better at blending in than seeing things.
Now, well, deception. How are you deceiving to blend in? How are you using?
So the guy walks in with Fosh, and he's kind of glazed over, but I don't want to make it look like I'm with Fosh, and I don't want, if someone's watching, I don't want them to connect the dots that we're all there. So I just want to be in the pod, observing Fosh and the director without bringing any suspicion that I might somehow be knowing them or somehow being associated with them.
Okay.
So the deception just casually like pretending to be a tourist.
Okay. Let's see. Now, the deception.
I can roll perception if you don't like.
Well, I would. It doesn't. Doing it in this way isn't going to cause a failure because it's not going to draw. It's not drawing attention to you, but it's not going to get you any information. So it kind of like if your roll was higher, there's ways it could work out, but with that, it's not going to hurt anything, but it's not going to get you where you need to go. But
it's a very passive activity I'm describing. So.
Yeah, but you are one of the tourists for all intents and purposes. If this guy were to come out of his mind trick haze, he wouldn't think anything of you.
Did Kelbrin...
The hardest...
Good, sorry.
Go ahead.
No,
the hardest part is pretending like I'm enjoying the view, which, as you mentioned, I sadly cannot see.
That's so sad.
Can I manipulate the Force to make myself look different to him?
No, that would be more of a deception, and you can use the Force for persuasion.
Right.
There are
can
Force
persuade
powers
them
that let you do that, but that's not in your suite of
fair enough.
powers.
Fair enough.
did Kelbrin mention over comms that the guy that he was following was shady?
I was going to wait until I was closer to the point where I know our target is before I am confirmed and mention anything. I was a little bit concerned that I'm just going to end up being walked to the wrong place. So if I feel confident that this place is where we need to go, I'm going to message in through the comms. Everyone should come here.
Yeah, I would say you felt pretty confident about that when, based on your use of the Force roll.
Which point I want to turn to someone and say, take me to your leader.
Just to someone?
Just to
Okay.
someone that looks like they work in there.
All right,
Okay.
I can take it from here. I can
Okay,
I-
you got it from here.
I can say that the guy that Kelbrin is leading in here or following in here said,
Hey, are you in charge of that show? Man, that show sucked. I want my money back, and I want to talk to your manager.
I'll make an intimidation check.
He does. You did kind of snap him out a little bit, at least that he's, he doesn't think anything of the Fosh, but he is in tune to you. There we go, 29.
Nice.
Ooh, yeah. All right. So he looks at you.
Look at this Jedi. He's completely unconvincing. Who would believe that this little bird person is a Jedi? It is completely ridiculous. No authenticity.
You get bonuses because of your scar, right? To intimidating.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
So that brings it up to what, a 31?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you he looks at you. Excuse me, sir, but I do believe that you are not the artistic visionary behind the Jedi Light stunt show at this park. And if you want to take that up with somebody in charge, take it up with me. Hang on. You are taking it up with me. What is your concern?
I tell you, there's no authenticity. This is supposed to be a Jedi. I mean, the lightsaber is completely ridiculous. The size of the creature. Who?
Sorry, probably the wrong voice to pick. Continue talking.
Who would believe this is a Jedi? You obviously don't know what you're doing. I need to talk to your manager at once. Who do you work for?
He avoids the question. He says, I work for the Arcanians. But you notice that as he's dismissing you, he kind of anxiously keeps looking around, like he's looking to his sides to see if there's anything going on, if there's any, almost like he's looking for his way out, even though this capsule is currently like 50 feet up in the sky right now.
Do I see them yet after all this commotion they've been making?
Yeah, you've noticed like things going on. I mean, with the comm links, I assume you guys are in pretty fair contact with one another. So
I'd make a point. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be looking for whatever he's looking for.
Okay. Roll another perception.
Wait, I'm gonna re-roll that using my.
Oh, actually, something that I forgot to mention. You all have force points. You can use force points to add an extra dice to your roll. It's a D6, but if you have, I think, the force, strong in the force feat,
I roll
it makes
D8.
it a D8. Right.
Yeah.
And you roll an extra D6, Kelbran, on anything you're not trained in. So you would roll a D6 and a D8 in any skills you're not trained in if you use a force point.
Okay.
Sorry, I forgot to mention that before.
I'm gonna use my acute senses to re-roll that.
Okay, cool. Go for it.
There we go.
Hey, that's that roll. All right. You notice, specifically from your vantage point on top of these buildings, knowing that something's going on in this capsule, looking down through your scope, you see the water in the lake is strangely it looks a little off. The coloration isn't right. The depth of the water from where you can see don't look like it should be the color that it is. It should be a little more clear, but there's just like an opaqueness to the water that isn't right. And you notice that it's underneath where that tower is.
Guys, there's something funny up with the water in the middle of the park. I think there's something underneath it.
Hmm.
And I think that's where he's looking.
You only need one more success to come out of the skill challenge alive. Oh, not alive, but you know.
Then I grab the guy's shoulder again, turn him around, looking right up at this guy. Look, you obviously have like a lot going on right now. We came here because you were telling me that, well, we had a dispute over my pay. We were supposed to go to your superiors. I know that they're down underneath the lake. Just come on, just take me there.
Roll
I'd like
a deception. I think
deception?
that sounds like, because you were lying to him about what happened.
True. All right. Then I'm not trained in deception.
But you can re-roll a deception.
But I can
as a
re-roll
fox.
Deception.
Yes.
So
But if you
I
re-roll, you
roll
keep
it.
the 25.
That's a 25, but I'd like to use a force point to
Ooh.
add to that.
So you add a D6 and a D8.
So that's a D8 that I think I just rolled,
Yes.
and an extra 5. So 35. Hey, I like my 35s.
35. Hey.
It's a very popular
You-
number for the Jedi.
All right. So you have succeeded at the skill challenge. Congratulations. As you accost this director, or I guess you're not accosting him, as you grill this director, a look of panic just comes to his eyes. You can tell he realizes, wait a second, something is wrong here. None of my actors are this good. This is a problem. And he, rather than react aggressively or violently, the coward that he is, he just looks you in the eyes and says, I'll tell you what you want, just don't hurt me, please.
A little red laser dot shows up on his forehead. Just for a second.
His eyes cross just for a second when the dot shows up on his forehead. There's a panel in the capsule. If you input the right code, you can go down. Don't do it when the other people are in here. I'll talk to somebody, get the capsule shut down. Don't tell anyone I told you, or else my career is done. I had no choice, I promise.
So what's
Is
the
there-
code?
Is there like an insight check or something as to
Perception
What
is
do I
insight
put-
for this.
yeah, perception is to like I had no choice, I promise. It's like really? I'm terrible at this skill, but okay.
That's okay. You don't have to be good at skills to use them.
Sure.
He seems pretty like he doesn't seem like he's lying. Seems
Okay.
like he really was kind of strong-armed into what he's doing.
So tell me the code. Come on, let's get this over with.
The code is
The Force.
24601.
24601. You theatrical types are all the same.
He kind of smiles a bit, glad that you understood.
See?
Yeah, for a Jedi, yeah. So the capsule winds down to the bottom. The tourists, seeing this strange display, really excited about the Jedi show after this, leaves. They're all abuzz talking about the cute little chicken with the strange, scary man, and how the Jedi was able to overcome him no matter what, even though he was little. As they depart, the repulsor door shuts closed.
So straight on the comlink. I think I did it. Everyone inside.
10-4.
All right. So
7-5.
That's not a code.
Okay.
So
Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, you get it.
Enough time has passed where Kelvin, your force powers have come back. They regenerate. They regenerate after an encounter.
Oh, sweet! I'm going to be using them more then.
Yeah, no, they're it's not quite like wizards where you only get them every day. They regenerate after like you take rest and such. So it's usually per encounter, but since enough time has passed, it's comparable. So, presuming you all are in the capsule now.
While Nagi is making her way over, I'm gonna actually plug in and try to hack in, and if there are any cameras, shut them down, so that her approach and what we're about to do is not recorded or visible.
All right. Do a use computer. $28. All right. Do you have anything that would add to that?
If it's for my sake, can I help him with my stealth?
Sure.
I guess. Let's see.
Can you use force points?
I could use a force point.
You can.
To push that.
Let's see. Because so the computer, just with your knowledge, the computer system is hostile, especially this aspect of the computer system that you're tapping into.
Yeah.
So
functionally, I'm trying to improve its attitude by one step, right?
Right. It's basically like diplomacy, but for a computer.
Right. That's a -10. Yeah, I'll roll a force point. I'll just make that happen. It's 1d6, right?
Yes.
Oh, come on.
You get a 1? Oh, no. Well, now you have a 29.
No, I have a 29.
Yeah. Now, Nagy, are you going to use your stealth to try to aid him in hiding you?
Yeah. Do I need to roll for that, or
roll?
you just gonna
Roll a stealth. I'm sure it's going to succeed, but just for the sake of this. Yeah, great. All right, so you add another 2, so that makes it up to 31. Is that right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, great.
31 by now.
Let's see. So I believe 31 is enough to at least fuzz it. So, you're red now. To fuzz
You
it,
said hostile environment.
Okay, fair enough.
I went to alert.
Fair enough. It's enough to, you're not going to disable the systems or anything, but honestly, that might work out for the best. And with Nagy's ability to be sneaky, you're relatively confident that nobody would have noticed her approach.
Well, she's smart enough. Instead of having to shut down all the cameras, I only got to do a couple, which is easier.
As she's going, yeah. So you're pretty confident that worked out for you.
Okay. So we've inputted the code.
Yes.
Capsule.
The capsule winds. Well, so the capsule doesn't go lower, but a door slides open in the middle, leading to an elevator that will bring you down into the lower depths.
How are we gonna enter? I mean, I guess I'm a janitor. Are we gonna sneak in, or are we gonna try to look like we know exactly what we're doing there?
If we pretend as if we know exactly what we're doing, we can approach and talk our way through. I feel confident we can just talk our way through. As I look up to the Mandalorian, we can talk our way through, right?
If we can't, we have other options.
Pew, pew, pew.
Are you just saying that a little?
Yeah,
blind
yeah.
here? Okay.
That's just the blind guy in the corner. Pew, pew,
Cool.
pew.
All right. So the door slides open. Are you entering?
Absolutely, just walk right in.
Okay.
I'm here to talk my way through. I'm not going to go hiding. I'm not going to stealth. Just straight on it.
All right.
Certainly it's safe, and it's not the other thing that would potentially be happening in a Star Wars episode.
Of course not, because we all know that the negotiations in Star Wars always go well for everyone. All right, so I'm going to drag your tokens in here so we can get you on the map.
We have a new map.
Yeah. Now, putting you on the map, I'm not necessarily saying that it's you guys are going to fight, but since you are in here, at any moment combat could break out because this is Star Wars. So I just want to have you all in here and ready to go just in case.
Sometimes Xanatos' rat gets on my nerves, so we might have fisticuffs.
Now I'm dragging your
Remember,
tokens
the
on
last
here.
time you fought Vesper, I believe Vesper won.
I don't remember that at all.
Maybe it was a dream.
Okay. Can you all see? Well, it's invisible on you guys, so you can't see.
We
Nope,
are
I'm
still on
Star
the
Wars.
main page. You're going to have to... so when you've got the list of pages available,
Yeah.
you have the flag that says players, the red flag over the page. Grab it, drag it to the correct page, and drop us.
Oh, okay. Does it work? Can you see everything?
There we
Cool.
are.
All right, let me increase your vision a little bit now.
Right.
All right, so
Remember, you might need to shift us in our view to the correct point.
Right.
So shift, hold down to force us to your location.
is it doing it?
It seems to be working well enough. We're on a map.
Okay, you can see it. Good, great,
Yeah.
great. So I'm giving you your view a little better now.
We see a small room with a vision out to just kind of who's in front of us.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So you should be able to see all to your sides and in front of you. Is that right?
Yep.
What's on the other side of that? There's wall, so it's wall and doors. So there's nothing to see past there right now. Let me get this going. All right. So, as the door opens, you find yourself in a large, expansive room. There are a handful of guards seated around the floor, playing what looks like some form of Dejarik, but improvised with their own cards. They're lightly armed and armored. They have spears on the ground next to where they're sitting and lounging about. They notice you enter, and they scramble to stand up as you enter into this clearly hidden chamber. But
As soon as they stand up, I step forward. Look, I don't have time to deal with you folk. Just take me to the command center.
Okay. Are you going to roll persuasion?
I would like to roll a persuasion.
All right.
I will help him by looking very urgent about what's happening.
I rolled
So
a 20.
A natural 20?
No,
Oh.
20 in total. So I will use another force point and
He rolled
increase
to get
that.
a 20. To get a 20, you have to roll a 2.
So I put it up to a 23.
All right. Plus 2 from that very good show of intimidation.
25.
Which one are you addressing? Any in
The
particular? or
one
you just...
in the middle, just the one that looks like he would be the most imposing of individuals.
Okay. And Now it is a she, not a he.
Ah,
It is a lady, or she is a lady, I guess. Is really the
and I'm a
pronoun that
bird
she would like to use. You are a bird person. So give me 1 second. I'm bringing up whatever her roll defense is to see if that worked. 218. So far back in this book. Goodness gracious. All right. What was the total? Sorry.
25 is the total.
All right. Is it 25? All right. She tells her men to stand down. These are clearly employees at this park. Look at their clothes. No decent human would wear those clothes. And why would a Jedi truly walk into our base? But she looks at you, Calbrin, and asks what brings a group of people like you into this secret facility?
I heard that there were some interlopers attempting to break in recently. We have come to assess the security situation and be sure that what they were coming after is absolutely safe.
All right. That needs deception.
Yeah.
Can I try to do a mind trick on her, not to listen to what I'm saying, but that what he is saying is completely legit?
You can use a mind trick, so you have to roll use the force to do that.
All right.
Okay. So I re-rolled as my racial natural ability to re-roll the deception. Got the 16.
Okay.
Since I'm not trained in deception, I added a d6 that pushed it up to a 22. I then
Plus
used
2.
up a force
Yeah.
point and made it 24. Did the use the force from Xanatos work?
Let's see. You got it. What was the use the force? I see a 6.
It was a 16.
It did not work. Use the force, sadly. It was not enough for her. But, sorry, so the total is 16, 22, 23, 24 from your deception check. She does approach you. Let's see. She says, very well. Follow me. And she, everybody roll a perception check real quick.
Deception.
Now I get a bonus I get to roll twice for perception to detect duplicity, or if she's lying to us. Deception, that's right. So if they're trying to deceive me, I can roll twice on the perception check.
Okay. So why don't you roll
should I-
twice just in case?
Yeah, because
Not good.
you wouldn't want to tell me if I can roll twice
Yeah.
or not, because that's giving away the game.
But the first one, the 18 is the first roll. 25 is. Does your rolling
That
twice?
20 on that second one.
Does your ability say that you keep the highest or you keep the second one? Not
I'll
that I
have
guess
to
it doesn't
double check.
matter actually. so.
Conspiracy. You can re-roll any perception check made to sense deception or influence, keeping the better results.
Okay. Well, all of you, because she is not a very sneaky kind of person, although she was not lying about bringing you somewhere, you do notice she starts to tap a comlink on her shoulder and is very clearly notifying somebody that a bunch of intruders just walked in.
Does no one have a jamming device?
If somebody doesn't stop me, I'm going to pull out a pistol and shoot her hand away from her comlink.
All right.
Ooh.
So does anybody stop?
I don't stop that.
All right.
Nagi is
roll
a
your-
force unto herself. Why would I get in the way of that?
So let's everybody roll initiative, but we'll let Nagi go in a surprise round.
It's the old Gambit.
That's right. I don't know what to do, so I shoot it.
Oh, I have to roll all of their initiatives too. Okay.
Oh, we gotta. Let's see. So you select
Jeez.
your character. And
I'm using my go-to DM dice, and it always rolls so high, and it's not happening today. Oh, how do?
That's because you're playing against Teo.
Yeah, right. Okay, I am having a hard time getting to add these people into the initiative.
Do you need help?
Yes. How do I add? Because I'm clicking on them, but it's not letting me.
If you right-click on a token, the very top
I see.
of these
There we go.
options is add a turn.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. You'll have to do it for Nagi
Sure.
and Mizod as well, since they didn't roll for the turn order. They
That's-
rolled initiative.
All right. Can do.
The difference is Nagi and Mizod, if you had had your token selected, it would have done it for the turn order.
Let's
Okay,
see. So
thanks.
Mizod, what did Mizod get?
27.
27. Nice.
And if you've always rolled, you can click your character, roll again, and then fix your number.
That's fine. Now that I got the hang of this, I am going to be able to do this fine. Maggie, 24. Yeah, so let's see how these go. Jeez Louise. Okay.
Oh, I see. There's an initiative roller by the base attack bonus and a separate initiative skill. It's
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that must be. I don't know why they would do it that way, but, you know. They're going to do what they're going to do. All right.
It's okay, we got this.
Yeah, it doesn't look like this is going to be very challenging for you guys based on these rules, because they're not going to be hard to take out once they are once they're confronted.
You can take 10 on initiative checks if you want.
Well, I already started rolling these, but I feel
No,
like
I'm saying that. I'm saying
yeah.
that for everyone else's
No,
benefit. I don't want to help you, Stephen.
Well, too bad. All right, so Nagi can go first. Since this is a surprise round and she's pulling out the pistol. So, are you rolling to shoot to damage, or are you trying to just disarm the comlink?
Nagi's not nice, so she's shooting
Okay.
damage.
All right, so
But the
Yeah.
chest hand area.
yeah. So you are quick drawing to pull out and then firing.
Yes.
Okay. Ooh, 26. I am confident that is more than enough. But let me double check.
Let me.
Oh, absolutely. So, with the whip of the pistol, a blast right to her shoulder, dealing 12 points of damage, it says.
Mm-hmm. And if she's caught flat-footed, she goes one step down the condition track if that was a success.
It was a success.
Yes.
So, she goes one step down the condition track.
Awesome.
And so,
And then-
sorry. Oh, yeah. Go on. And then
I was gonna move.
Okay.
And then I still have one swift action left, right?
Yes, because your quick draw is part of that. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to have to just drop my pistol for a sec and whip out Big Sister and get prone.
All right. There you go. Cool. All right. So now, with that hit done, we're going to go to the top of the initiative, which starts with Mizod Baran.
I will. So, how high are these? Or how high is this platform? Can I just jump
That
down?
platform. Yeah, you could jump down without problems. It's not so high that you would risk hurting yourself. It's probably like maybe 5 feet off the ground.
And I guess the person in the middle is the person in charge.
For all appearances, it's the person who is wielding different equipment than everyone else.
So that the person in the middle is the one that Nagi just shot.
Yes.
Okay. So I rush up to her, hopping down like you do. I say, "Not so fast!" And I have point blank shot, and I will just put my blaster right up to her chest and shoot.
Goodness gracious. That is very aggressive. Let's see how successful your aggression is. All right. Well, with that shot, which is easily very, very successful, the woman just drops to the ground, absolutely out of commission, possibly dying for all you know, but certainly not a threat at this point.
And then I will end my turn with a swift action of draw fire, which with a persuasion check, I compare the result to the will defense of all opponents within line of sight. If the check result exceeds an opponent's will defense, that opponent can't attack anyone else.
What is your will bonus, your persuasion? But yeah. Great. So what is that bonus is 10, 30. Okay, so just for future turns, if there are future turns based on this, even if you get a 1, you'll succeed on these guys' will defense. So we don't, you just say it and then they only attack you. All right.
And I'm brilliant!
Nagy.
I'm prone. I'm aiming.
All right.
I'm firing.
All right. So 2 swift actions and then your standard to attack.
Yep, and I'm gonna go for the guy that's closest to me. That's at the end of the line.
Cool.
And you should treat their thresholds as 5 minus 5.
Lower.
Yep.
All right. Well, I mean, where are you aiming on this guy in particular? Just
The
curious.
head.
All right.
Or
Well,
throat.
you get a clean shot. Your it's big sister, right?
Yeah, this is big sister.
Yeah. So big sister, right through the neck. The energy, like it cauterizes right as it comes through. There's not a bit of blood. Very clean, and crumples right to the ground. Done.
Ha!
Now this guy who has already seen 2 people drop almost instantly in 6 seconds of time. This is not going well for his people. Feels compelled to defend the honor of his guards, his fellow guards, and will, with his blaster pistol, fire at Mizod. Mizod, what is your reflex defense?
28.
He just misses outright, just totally botches that shot and does not hit you at all. You notice the look of dread in his face as the shot just goes right past you. It hits the awning kind of thing, just explodes in a shower of sparks. And he is going to begin a flee, just running as far away as possible, because this is just not good. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Kelbrun.
Okay. So looking at the one that is neck closest to Mizad, I will.
Yeah. This one right here.
Yep.
Cool.
I will pull out my lightsaber and light it. Because that's cool. That's cool.
Of course it is.
Lightsaber.
Oh, roll your use the force because you have to.
Every time I activate it.
Well, I guess you don't have any force powers that are used up, right?
No, I haven't used
Okay,
up
so
any force powers.
then don't worry about it then.
Okay. And the DC is 5, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 5. The only thing is if you've used up force powers, whenever you roll use the force, if you get a natural 20, all of your force powers come back.
Ah, right, fair enough.
So in other contexts, but for now, yeah. So you light your lightsaber.
Okay, so it's active. I would then like to, and correct me, new system, folks,
Yeah,
bear with me
of
for a
course.
second. I don't know if it'll be useful at all, but I would like to use my master negotiator to try and persuade the individual that is there closest to Mizad to drop his defenses and his weapons.
Sure.
Which, if I remember this correctly, I can use persuasion, which is use the force, and if I am successful, he will go down 2 conditions in the conditions.
Correct. Correct. And so for viewers, if you're not familiar with Saga, There are two forms of, I guess, hit points, kind of. There's the normal hit points, but also if you take very high damage, Casey was alluding to this earlier with her aiming, knocks him down the damage threshold. It further reduces your capacity to function. You get penalties to attacks and skills the more hurt you are, independent of how much health you have. So you could be knocked out of combat without actually losing all of your hit points if you take enough big hits. So what we have with Kelbreth here is, or Kelbren, is by persuading people, you can basically weaken their resolve to the point that they would just give up the fight because they would be so shaken or so persuaded or so moved by his words.
Okay.
So I guess negotiated. So roll your use the force.
So 37.
That is certainly high enough for these lowly guards. So he is now down 2 on the condition track.
Okay.
Which puts him, and there's only 5. So if he goes down to the bottom, then he's out of commission.
Yep. Okay.
Right. Are you going to?
But I think down 2 is enough. I used a swift action to light my weapon. That was an action, wasn't it?
Standard. So you can
Standard
still
action?
use a move, or you can use another swift to do something.
Okay. Then, in which case, I will move closer towards the towards Mizad. I'll stand next to him.
All right. Cool. Moving on, Xanatos.
I'll just shoot a guy. I'll just shoot that fella.
The one that was just spoken to, sternly to talk to.
Should I shoot the one sternly talked to, or the one that just got knocked down a couple points on the track? Or that's the same guy, right?
It's the same guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. No, I'll shoot the other guy, the one that didn't have the stern talking to, and is just
Okay.
standing there, dumbfounded. 21.
21. I believe that does hit. Yeah, that hits. What was the damage?
18.
18. Oh, he is not out of commission though, but it is down a damage threshold.
And then I will move over by Nagi, just down the steps, and crouch a little bit because I am not much of a fighter.
Cool. All right. Now this is the guy that was just very, very sternly worded, spoken to. He, though his resolve is quite weakened, he is still going to attempt to do his job and do his duty. And he just totally misses you, Mizad, so you're fine. And he is going to start fleeing in this direction. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, the one that was just shot is going to pick his spear up from the ground and try to throw it at Mizad. And also misses. The spear hits the ground, and the metal ground, and just shatters with the impact. And it is now Mizad's turn again.
I will start chasing the guy who is running farther away.
The one that, I guess he'll move and I'll see. Yeah, great.
Actually, I want to stay real close to the other guy too.
Yeah.
So I'll stay right there, and then I will shoot that guy.
Cool. Let's see it.
Uh, 21.
That does hit. 18 damage. All right. So he is also brought down on the damage threshold. All right.
And then I will again say,
Look at me! Don't go anywhere!
and that's all I got. I'm drawing their fire.
Yeah. Just making them want to attack you. Oh my gosh, I'm just trying to open up more views and I keep clicking out of Roll20 by accident. And it is really being a pain in my butt. Okay. Nagy.
She was
You
getting
just-
ready. She was lining up her shot, and here comes Mazad. Now her scope is filled with his butt.
That's
Dang it.
unpleasant.
So she's got to turn her sights over to the guy that's to her 9 o'clock.
Okay.
And she's going to be like, what's his name? Xanatos. Cover me. Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh. All right. Well, do you have any bonuses to your attack roll?
It's all included in there.
All included.
Other than his -5 to his threshold.
Okay. Well, sadly, your well-aimed shot is not quite well-aimed enough, and he manages to. Oh, hold on. No, but you rolled a 13. No, still not enough with the reduced threshold. So, or with the reduced thing. So, shot not quite aimed enough. Goes right between his legs.
Big sister, why you do this?
All right. And it is now this one. Again.
So I do have
Oh.
the guy I shot. I didn't add my +1 for point blank range. If that makes a big deal.
Is it for damage or is it for?
+1 to damage. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
It's not gonna
point-
knock him out, but it
All
will.
right. All right. We're good. We're good.
Yeah, I think no matter what, it's gonna do the same to the deadness of them all. So it's now this one. He's going to again attack Mizod, and miss, and again, just try to get away. All right, Kelvin.
Okay. Stepping closer to this individual, I nod to him. I'm sorry that I must do this, but I must stab you with my lightsaber now. As I will
Stab him with your lightsaber now.
stab him with my lightsaber now.
All
It's
right.
very polite about
Let's
it.
see. Yeah. Oh, you do stab him with your lightsaber now. I like the notes too. So, with your lightsaber, just gently placed through him as delicately as possible. You see the life start to come out of his eyes as he collapses to the ground. Taken out. All right, are you going to do any swifts? Do you have?
I'm not sure what other things I could do with a swift.
Okay.
So, in which case, I won't. Though, how much additional movement do I have left? I've only used 10 foot.
So you would have it's you get I think 4 squares because you're small.
Yes. Okay. So
that'd
I've got
be-
another 2 squares that I can move. So I will continue to hop along the wall. Here.
All right. Xanatos.
Because I was told to cover Nagi, I'm just gonna shoot the one that's still standing to try and keep her covered. Because that's how we do.
Word.
And come on. Ooh, 14 on the attack.
But because he's so distracted by his stern talking to from your avian fellow, you notice that you managed to just catch him at just the right time when he's not really paying attention to what's going on around him,
Pew!
and he takes and you get a +1 to that damage, right?
I just fixed the formula. So
Oh, you
this is
fixed it.
correct.
Okay,
So this has
So-
the +1 already. So 22 damage.
not quite out. Very close though. And are you doing anything else with your turn besides that attack?
I feel like I gotta figure out how to add 1 point of damage to this. I don't have any more standard actions, so I will just stay there.
All
Say-
right.
I'm trying, Nagi. Trying so hard.
You're doing great, especially for a blind guy or a eyeless guy. You're not blind. You're just eyeless.
Just eyeless.
You are doing great for someone who relies exclusively on your visual senses as well.
Thank you. I take great pride.
Let's see. All right. It is now this guy's turn. And with all this going on, he just drops his pistol and puts his hands up and is no longer going to be fighting you. This is not going like he wanted it to.
That is exactly what you should be doing right now.
He just looks at you and nods and says, "Thank you. Thank you for that, sir, father. I mean, sir."
Good boy.
And Mizad.
So I realized that in my heavy armor, I can only move 4 squares instead of 6 squares. So I should be there right now.
Okay.
So I will continue moving towards the guy who got around this corner. Can I see him from my vantage? Well,
Oh, I'm sure you can, yes.
Carl
you can.
cannot see him. I don't know if
But,
Mizad can.
Yes.
Right, well then, okay. If I can see him, I will shoot him.
All right. Shoot him good.
Your friend has the right idea of it. He's giving up. You, on the other hand.
Is he with... Oh, okay, I see him now.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, he's right in the corner there.
No, he is at medium range, so... Oop. 15 to hit.
Was he down his damage threshold? He was. So you also render him unconscious on the ground. So I believe there were only really a very small number of casualties. A lot of unconscious and 1 surrender. But we'll get out of initiative for now because I think we're pretty well solved through that. What do you do with your surrender, crew?
I walk right up to him. So, first things first. What is your name?
My name is Private Antilles, sir.
Private Antilles. Good man, good man. Thank you for disarming yourself. We will get this through fairly simply and easily. Just answer all of the questions that my friends have for you, and you will be able to go home safe and sound today. Okay?
Oh, okay. That seems like a much better solution than what otherwise is happening here.
Good, 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 good. So, and I turn to either Mizad or Nagi, who are now flanking this individual.
Xanathos is not going to ask questions. He's going to every weapon and pulling out the power packs and either discharging the packs or throwing them into his backpack so the weapons are not operational.
Cool. So they each have 1 blaster on them, so you would have 5 power packs in your pack. And if you want the spears, you can take those too. Oh, and the woman also had a sword.
I'll take that.
Actually, yeah. Actually, I want Kelbrin. Can you roll a galactic lore knowledge?
Oh.
I am trained in galactic lore.
Roll that as well, then.
So am I.
Ooh.
25. And just
All
for
right.
good luck, let's make it a 33. Yep.
And what do we? Oh, I see. Great. So both. Kelbrin knows, but Xanatos does not. Actually, let me send you a private message on Skype because that's how I like to handle these.
In
these...
Roll20, if you /W space KEL, it'll Kelbrin, and you can send me a private message through Roll20.
No, I'm going to send it, unless sending it to Skype would be problematic for your setup, just because I know I don't, since if I send anything to whoever is running the feed, it'll show up on the Twitch stream.
True, fair enough.
Yeah.
I promise not to cheat by using the Twitch stream.
I make no such promises.
Man, those guys, they were a pushover. They must not be guarding anything important.
Yep.
Or maybe we are as good as we told that generic guy we are.
Ah, right. Then I walk right over to the body of the boss man lady.
And she is dead. She is dead.
She's
She's not
dead,
unconscious.
Yep.
Dead.
Absolutely. I'm going to start patting her down to see if there's anything else that's interesting about her as I pick up her sword.
Right. You notice that let me actually roll a perception. See what you see. Or what you identify on her.
17.
17. All right. You don't see anything particularly of note on her person. She's wearing armor. Or no, sorry, she's not wearing armor. She is wearing she has a data pad, comlink, the blaster pistol, the sword. Nothing else particularly of note on her person.
Mm-hmm. Then I will take the sword over to Xanatos as my fellow force-sensitive individual. This, just so you know, this interesting weapon happens to be that which is commonly used amongst the Sith. So we know we are on the right track.
She got any scheduled appointments in her data pad or anything that indicates what they've been up to?
Well, let's find out.
I hack her data pad.
All right. Roll use computer. All right. So
I should just start taking 10 on these.
What did you wind up getting? Well, we'll say you took 10. You got a 30.
Sure.
So we'll say what you did is you came across a part where you had to use a fingerprint identification, and you took advantage of the fingerprints that were there. The schedule that you see on there is more or less you aren't able to access anything too deep in there from your search, but you were able to at least get her messages and the like. She was there on guard duty. She was in charge of the guard, and from what you can tell, there's some reference to a back room or a secret room, some hidden place where she had access to as one of the people in charge of the guards that isn't necessarily available, or doesn't appear to be necessarily available or ready knowledge to all of the guards.
There is a secured room here that likely has more information for us. Keep an eye out for hidden passages.
Now, sorry.
I'll start talking to the prisoner, or
Cool.
surrenderer.
Say, hey, your boss. She was going to call someone on her comlink. Who was she going to call?
Here. Says, likelihood the boss in this place is a man by the name of, what's his name? General Alistair Drono. He's new to our ranks, but he's very good. Now, you all would recognize the name Drono as a former Republic soldier working up the ranks that disappeared about a year or so ago.
That turncoat.
He just looks like, yes, most of us are. That's kind of the way of the Sith. Sorry.
At least you apologized.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're a pretty bad Sith. I had to tell you. You're kind of, like, not what I expected. I thought you guys would be like, tougher, I guess.
It's a good thing, really.
Yeah, we're evil. We're not rude. There's a difference.
But you can still come back to the Force. Have you heard the word of the Force? You can come back to the light. It is the only way for truth and justice. Come back to the Republic.
Look, at this point, if you're gonna keep proselytizing, I say let the one on the ground, what was on the ground, just kill me, because spare me the lectures.
It wouldn't
Just wanted to save your midichlorians. That's all.
What's the what now?
They're little germs inside of you. Didn't you know this? Come on.
Ew! Get him out!
So he offers to help you get at least a little bit more access.
Well, if you're not rude. You're certainly very smart. You make up for your rudeness with your sense of self-preservation. This is, I can say that for you, Sith. You guys know, or at least you anyway. You know how to not die.
Yes, it's one of my better qualities. So he leads you to this spot. There's doors right here. And he inputs some little boopy doops on the screen. And it opens up and you see what looks like more room. Just past here. Let me open all this up for y'all. There, that should be all clear. I'll get the sides a little bit just in case there's anything that's choppy. So
Before we leave him completely, I'd like to ask him for his comm link, just so that he can't report us immediately after.
Yeah, he'll hand it to you. He's basically going to do whatever he can right now to not die.
I'll give him a little shoulder pat to assure him he did good.
Cool. And he tells you...
Then she shoots him in the face.
I'm not Gamble.
Nope.
No, that's right. That's a Gamble.
He tells you that those what look like window panels in front of you actually lead out to another elevator that will bring you further down. The deeper down you go, the more likely you are to run into these people in charge. As you notice looking around, you see these blue window panels on the other sides. Look out into the lake. There's some critters and creatures, big fish, and there's always bigger fish just kind of sneaking behind them.
I think I
at all
ate that.
times.
So I gotta go.
But he guides you to there. There's no code to get into the elevator at this point, because this one is generally assumed the only people getting there are the ones that are there. And
we cannot leave him here. He could run away and alert others. We need to secure him, or some other way prevent him leaving.
Do we really need to stop him from leaving? Can we not just encourage him to give us time before he goes screaming off to his superiors?
I prefer not to have to fight on the way in and the way out. Surely he would alert his superiors and come back with more people to fight us. Despite his help, he is a Sith.
I turn to him. You're not going to do that, are you?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Then I will use a mind trick to convince him to forget us and our description, and can try to convince him that he doesn't feel well and he should go home and rest.
All right. Roll your use the force.
Okay. What?
What'd you get?
A 21.
Oh, you botched that. You didn't botch it, but...
A 27.
Okay.
Let's make it a 27. Using these force points way too.
Now, you only get those force points for, like, the whole level, right?
I know, but the whole
but
level is just another 2 hours. So
Sure.
Yeah. So that does exceed his will defense. So at least
but he
long
was
enough.
The one that was reduced, wasn't he, as well?
He was down on the track, yeah. But he does not. So with mind trick, you wouldn't be able to erase his memory or anything like that, but you can at least convince him that he's not feeling well and he should go deal with that.
Okay.
Which he immediately begins dry heaving. and he just says, "Excuse me, I have to go handle this." And he just he like runs off to attempt to vomit in a corner. He has no need to vomit because he is not actually ill, but he really feels like it.
To which point I turn to Xanatos and say, I think we'll be fine.
I am going to use the force check to search my feelings. As a full round action, I can use the force to determine whether a particular course of action will yield favorable or unfavorable results in the immediate future.
All right.
So whether letting him go is going to be okay or not in the immediate future.
With a 17.
Yeah, it's a DC 15.
Oh, then, yeah, at least in the immediate future, he's going to be tending to his perceived illness. All right. In the not immediate future, who knows?
Who knows?
In the immediate future, things are okay.
Thank you, Kelbrin. You are always so helpful with that on this and all the many previous missions we've done together with the body of work that we've seen.
I'm glad you appreciate my body of work.
Hey-o. All right. So with that group of Sith wiped out for now, or at least a non-issue, your way further down revealed to you. We will take a break for 15 minutes and come back into it after. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Crituitous RP. As we continue our adventure in our Star Wars game, for those just joining us now, we are playing in the Star Wars Saga Edition this week and again in a few weeks for a kind of two-shot adventure, giving Teo a chance to play a character instead of play the Dungeon Master for a few weeks, and getting us a chance to just, flex out and try some new stuff. So we left off with the group negotiating their way, and both aggressively and through actual negotiation, as is wont to do in this kind of game, to infiltrate a Sith base, find some Republic infiltrators that have gone missing, and finish the job they came here to start. Now, I'm going to direct all of you guys to the new sheet where you are in this next level.
So you go down another level?
Yes.
Was it by elevator or like steps?
It was like a lift.
Okay.
Did my zapping work? Did you get where you needed to be?
Nope.
Nope.
All right, I will try one more time. Let me just put your tokens on here.
Okay. Remember to drag the player's banner over to the right page.
Oh, right. That's it. That's that Roll20 thing.
No problem.
How about that?
And while we're listening to the elevator music taking us down, okay, so now we can see ourselves.
Yeah, and you can move yourselves wherever you want to be. There's nobody in this space where you are right now, so there's no risk of being seen as you leave the elevator. When you enter this new level, you notice across from you another window, peering deeper into the depths of this lake in this park. The underwater creatures here, have a much more deep sea beauty to them. Even though you're only one further layer down, it does appear that you are actually much further down underwater than it would seem based on just the levels and the depth of this lake. Looking around, it's a fairly standard looking room. You see doors to both the west and the east. Kelbren, where you're standing, you see a window that peers through the room and to the other end. You don't see any people in there, but you do see that there is a room that is, actually you would be able to see a little more of that room through that window. So let me give you a little more visibility. The room is empty, but it is an extra room, kind of a connecting corridor of sorts that gives access to further depths of this facility.
So I'm looking through a window right now.
Yes.
Assuming the window isn't a doorway that could be opened. Right. Is there a door nearby that I could access?
Yes. The door, I'll make sure this is visible because I don't know if I actually chopped that out. Where these little yellow bits are, that is a door for our purposes today.
So, looking at this big door, is it something that I'm likely to be able to open, or should I just ignore this area?
It's something that could be opened, but even though the elevator to come down here was not super well secured, it seems that every door that you guys can see from here has some kind of an electronic pad that connects into it.
Well, you can bet I'm going to crack into that thing.
All right. Now,
Hey, are we still trying to be fooling people to think that we are employees, or are we done with that? Are we just assaulting the base now?
We've descended to the bowels of a secret base and are dressed like janitors. I think you have the right of it, Ms. I think you have the right idea, Ms. Odd.
Which was which? I was legitimately asking a question.
I think you would do well to put on your warrior helmet, and we just go in tactically.
All right, I'm going to turn my cloaking off then.
I think we can still come to a peaceful solution, but we should do it as ourselves and not as actors and cleaners.
Yes, get rid of your stupid actor's costume.
Yes. Wait. Xanatos, are you going to take a look at that door?
Now, actually, I want to, before we go, Xanatos, since you have a little bit, your vision is different from everyone else, will you be trying to scope out with the Force to see what's going on?
I mean, not particularly. All I would say is, the way I treat vision, and you can treat it differently if you think it needs to. I ignore partial concealment and partial whatever.
Okay.
So if someone would be visible to me, but for that concealment, I would see them. But otherwise, I don't have I can't be seeing into different rooms. I'm not seeing beyond the physical, other than I get enough of a draw off of people's auras that partial concealment doesn't hide them.
Got it.
I mean, if you want to play it differently and give me God vision through walls,
that's fine.
Okay.
Mostly, I just wanted to make sure that we're on the same page for what you're able to do, so that your concept is able to work as you wanted it to.
Right. No, the not having eyes is more about having some force sensitivity, not about getting some big advantage on perception.
Right. And just for your purposes, the doors, there is this door that was where Kelburn was, and to the east side, there are two doors. From what you can see, it looks like the path continues, but there's a door in there that could be open to then get further. Yeah, right there.
Up there. Okay.
Well, having worked together tactically, I'm not running ahead and plugging into anything. Rooms get secured first before I turn my back and start hacking away. So until our assault guys clear out the room to make sure it's clear, I'm not going to run into an empty room and start hacking in.
All right.
Yep, same here.
Can I look out the window to see if there are any, orcas or sea animals?
There are no orcas. They do not exist in this world, sadly. But for their benefit,
what recreational sea life in the Star Wars universe does exist for us?
Oh, well, there are creatures known as the
flopnids.
No, not the flopnids. That is definitely not from Star Wars.
There is saltwater.
Yeah, there's saltwater. Right. This is freshwater. There are the.
It's okay. You don't actually.
No, I want to. There are delphines. Delphines. Yeah, it's a very clever name that I came up with. They are
descendants of Delphine.
Yes, they are very wise. Some sense that they might have force potential as creatures, but otherwise they're just friendly little squeaky things that live underwater and are easy to train.
Can I perceive any delphines out this window?
You can. You see some by.
I bet they don't treat those delphines very well. I've seen one of those Hollow movies about how they treat their animals. It's not a good thing.
Yeah, the Ithorians are really opposed to the to this whole Arcanian institution, but that's a campaign for another day. But so you search the room, you secure the area. You don't see any people in there. There are cameras in the room keeping a view on what's happening. Presumably, as there would have been in the rooms you were in before, had it been secured.
Xanatos, the room is clear.
Is there a terminal in this room?
A terminal? Yeah. Each well, what kind of? You mean just any kind of electronics to access?
Well, let me ask, based on my knowledge of technology and such, is there a central terminal I could plug into to access all of these doors, or do I got to hit each door and plug in one at a time?
What kind of gear do you have?
Right now, I'm just rocking the upgraded personal computer. That's it's the upper end of what splicers carry.
Okay, it's like I guess like a laptop that you would carry around with you?
Right, kind of an attaché case type thing. It's better than the data pad style. It's got more. It can run complex programs simultaneously.
Okay. So I would say with that, you could hook that up to any one of these systems. And if you were able to roll well enough on your used computer check, you could access remotely through your computer. So you would have to, so if you're not able to do that, or you don't want to risk doing that and possibly signaling what's going on, you would have to go to each panel separately. But you could.
No, I'll just hubris. I'll just hack in.
All right.
Get it.
All right. Let's see what you got.
Kidding me.
Oh, that hubris is not. That hubris is not. You got force points. You do have force points.
I rolled a 1. Like, just yeah.
Goodness gracious! Yeah. But a 1 is a 21, though. I mean, that's.
Yeah. I should. If I just took 10, I'd get 30s every time. But if I don't take 10, I can get 30 to 40. Anyway, I rolled a
all right. So you dig through this computer for a while. You are having a hard time getting it to your laptop, your private computer. You think you're able to get something over there, although you're not confident.
Do I know what its attitude is towards me?
The attitude is super pissed.
Super hostile?
Yeah.
If hostile computers try to contact administrators to report intrusions and such. So I'll just let them know that things aren't going well, and I'm just going to spend my time trying to improve the computer. You know what? At this point, I'm just going to try to break in and forget improving the computer. I just want to erase the program. I just want to erase that it knows. I can only do it if it's helpful towards me. So never mind. That's not going to happen.
You can sit here and try to keep improving the attitude of the computer, but the amount of time that would take.
No, yeah, I'm expecting alarm bells to start going off any second, so I'm just going to break the doors and we'll try to go forward.
All right.
To which point I turn to him and I'm like, so going well, I assume?
The computer program here is surprisingly resilient and particularly hostile towards all outside requests. My progress is very limited.
Are the walls and ceilings flat? Are there any crenellations anywhere? Any vents?
Let me check. There are vents as they appear on the map. So down in the corners there are some vents, but the walls are pretty flat. The walls would be very hard to climb on. You can try. There's enough that you might be able to grip in there, but it would not be. It would be very difficult to do that. You're a very good climber, but.
I'd like to find a vent that is out of eyeshot of one of the security cameras, and I'd like to rip it open.
And are you going to jump in there, or are you just?
If I do successfully get it open without it destroying it.
Yeah, then, roll a strength check to open it.
And does my Krail armor help me out with this?
I think it's for carrying.
Drag, lift, or pull. +2.
It's pulling. You're pulling. Yeah, I'll take that.
+2. And that's what? Roll?
A strength. I would just roll a straight strength roll.
Okay.
So a 9.
Unless you can like think of a way that it would be one of your skills.
I mean, it could.
Oh.
It could be.
I could say which one it would be, and I don't have it.
Okay. Well, you could use skills you're not trained in. You won't get the bonus, but you would still get the bonus for level because you still get that onto your sheet for this.
Yeah. I'll use endurance, and I'll just keep trying and just push my limits and break my muscles.
All right. So roll an endurance check then.
It's not destined.
So you are not able to get this out there. It's screwed in a little too tight. It's not budging.
If I could just get this open, we can hide it.
But you notice that even though Xanatos' prescription of this situation to you is not favorable, or it doesn't seem favorable, knowing his skill, it's strangely quiet right now. You don't hear an alarm. You don't hear. Actually, roll a perception. Let's. I don't want to assume that you don't hear anything.
Everyone.
Everyone. Oh, look at your perceptions, everybody.
25.
So you don't hear an alarm. Seems that if there is an alarm, it's probably silent. And the reason you know that if there is an alarm, it's probably silent is because you do hear footsteps from the west side of the building. But you can't see anybody yet. It doesn't seem like anybody's actually come to the point where they would be able to greet you.
Then if I hear the sounds coming from the west, I would immediately start running towards the western door.
All right.
Since things are not going well with the computer, I'm packing it up, and I'm just going to do a Han Solo, like Jimmy opened the lock and just start manually with a mechanics check, trying to get that thing open since the computer is doing me the betrays.
It's doing you the betrays?
Doing me the betrays.
Which door are you going to?
The one by Tio.
All right. So
I think that door's going to open by itself sooner or later.
But I prefer it open on my account rather than someone else's, so we have the element of surprise.
What you got?
30.
30.
Cool. So before this happens, does anybody want to ready any actions?
My lightsaber is out.
Okay.
I'll get prone and aim and
Okay.
get ready with my finger on the trigger. Only if it looks like they're sentry type folk. Not if they're civilians.
Actually, there is something that I would like to do just beforehand. We know the leader of the base, right?
Yes. Well, you know of him.
Know of him. Is it enough to be able to use my far-seeing ability
Ooh. Let me look at that real quick.
on him in order to spend a force point to gain a clear mental image of the target's surroundings, as well as other creatures and objects within 6 squares of it?
Let's see.
You suddenly just see us.
I want to see if he is on his way
How
towards
about roll a knowledge bureaucracy?
knowledge
and-
bureaucracy.
If you
I think knowledge checks you can't make untrained unless you have a skill that specifically gives you that.
I am
No,
trained
that's-
in bureaucracy.
yeah. I made sure to pick one that I knew you were that made sense that you were able to do.
It's a 26.
Okay. I'd say that's enough. You would have met him. Because what does it say? To someone you have
So,
know or have
Target
met. You have
one
met.
creature you know or have met before.
Right. So you have met this man.
Okay.
So roll your use the force.
Come on, roll high. What's with
What
this?
you got?
A 22.
Well, it only has to beat his will defense.
What's my will defense? My will defense is 25. You know what? I'm going to risk it. I'm going to use a force point to increase that by another 8. So that's a 30.
I am almost 100% confident that is enough. I'm also fairly sure the original was enough too.
Oh.
But I don't know for sure, so give me 1 second. Let me get to the right page. 149.
So.
Yeah, so you are able to see what he sees right now. At least get a picture of what's in his vantage right now.
Right. So I know what he's currently doing and any strong emotions it is presently feeling, as well as his immediate surroundings.
So it looks like an empty room from what I showed, but it's kind of an office that he's sitting in. He's behind a desk. He's behind a closed set of doors that are just standard doors, not locked or anything, but just doors. He feels irritated and a little anxious. His stomach is a little upset. His lunch was a little much for him. You feel that as well. But he is otherwise alone in this room. There's nobody in there with him. It's a very well decorated office.
Looking at the actual structure of the room that he's in,
yes.
Do I feel convinced that he is within this structure? He's definitely within this structure. Okay.
He is definitely within this structure.
All right. That's all I wanted to do in preparation.
All right, so let me reveal as this door slides open. This is what you see. Empty room. There are some trees in planters. Some pictures of famous Sith on the walls. A door across from you. Another set of windows that you were able to kind of peek through before. And, oh, sorry, I didn't reveal the bottom corner here. Didn't quite go down far enough. Another set of doors at the bottom with windows on the side. So it looks like this is kind of a juncture in here. There are doors on each wall with windows that peer out into the edges.
Can we get a sense of which direction those footsteps were coming from?
You roll perception.
$28.
28. Try something real quick. Where are they on here? All right. So, Kelbrin. Although the others are not able to divine this through observing what's around them, you hear just a few shuffling feet, as though they're standing still but a little fidgety, in 2 spots. And I will ping in those spots for you. If it will ping. Will it ping? There we go. In that spot.
Okay.
And on this spot.
All right.
Behind those doors.
So since I'm right next to this door.
Oh, actually, sorry. Yeah. You only notice. You're the only one that notices that.
Okay. Is there any way I can position myself next to this window to be able to see the individuals that might be shuffling?
Yes. Let me give you a little bit more view. So you see.
Hoping this is a floor-to-ceiling window, otherwise I'm climbing
so you see,
look through.
2 individuals up against the door waiting for it to open. They are wearing full Sith paraphernalia. So these are not just guards or whatever. These are fully equipped. The last remnants, or at least some of the last remnants of the Sith Empire. They have lightsabers in hand, blaster pistols at their belt, and they're ready to go. They don't. Well, are you trying to be hidden at all, or are you?
Well, that depends. Is this what kind of a window do I have? I am a small creature.
You are a small creature. That's true. I would say, in order for you to be seeing really through this window, to be able to see the view that you're at, you would have to be on your toes. It's mostly here. I mean, even though these are Sith and they're bad dudes, bad dudes and ladies and others, they are not. They like nice things, so it's well decorated, and this is so that they can have a kind of more open environment. So they're standard windows there for decoration to make it a little more comfortable. So it's not like these are little portholes, but these aren't just like open windows that give a full view of everything going on.
Okay, then I would like to quietly drop down, signal to Mizard. Okay, and then I would like to line myself up right in front of them, waiting for the door to open.
Okay.
Assuming that since they have their lightsabers burning, they won't hear my lightsaber burning as well.
That's a fair assumption, I would say.
And on that signal, I'll sneak up and just kind of hand signal, do you want me to open this door? And I didn't have Skype up, so okay. So I start trying to break open that door.
All right, roulette.
Roll it.
Steven,
Yes.
do I get a sense of what any of these rooms might be used for? Are they like just offices with copy machines, or are they prisons or storage facilities?
So from where you are, it seems like this is kind of the office wing. I mean, the office wing. It's it's a repurposed facility that the Sith are using to house whatever they're doing. But it seems like this end of the facility is where they have their where they do all of their business. This is where they have any important to-dos that are here will conduct meetings on this half of the building. Any storage facilities would probably be on this half of the building, where all of their business is going to be, for lack of a different word. And with a 23, so the door slides open, and you see two Sith red lightsabers burning right in front of you. I guess right in front of Kelvin and Xanatos. And they, having readied an attack to strike, they both swing their blades at you.
Okay.
Where is it? What is your reflex defense? With your lightsaber out, mine?
What's the extra bonus I get for having my lightsaber out?
You know what? It doesn't matter because my rolls were very bad. So okay. I can confidently assume that when they swing, they miss. Now let's get some initiative going in here. Oh, let me put the thing up first. Oh, how do I clear? I gotta clear it. Sorry. Okay. There we go. It's always nice when they both roll the same initiative score.
Why do you guys keep getting percentages on these rolls?
What I've got is my dex is applied to it. So that is, I rolled a 13 and my dex score is a 16. So as a result, if anyone else rolls a 13, I'm higher.
The second number is just to determine if you tie what the dex is. I see.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So it seems, Nagy, from your
now my original roll was a 21, but you hadn't pulled it up yet. So
you can use that. Use the original roll. That was my forgetting to clear it. So let me reorganize these. All right. Still, Nagy, from your vantage point, as you see this go up, they swing and they miss horribly, trying to hit Kelvin as the door opens. What do you do?
One of these guys has total cover, but another one does not. So
Right.
I'm going to aim Big Sister at that one.
Is that, which one is that? Is it the left or the right?
The left. It's
Okay.
the one that I can shoot.
Great. So let's. Do you have anything that lets you ignore cover?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Ooh, a 24. Let's see.
And I'm
All right.
prone,
Yeah.
so -5 to their threshold.
All right. Well, you hit, and it is quite the hit. So you deal 29 damage. And is there anything that adds to that, or is that already factored in for you?
That's already.
Okay.
That
great.
should be good, that number. But they also go down a condition.
And their track is also less because of the power. Is that right? Like you're saying, so it's 5 below. Ooh, buddy. All
It's
right.
only 5 below for me, though. Not for everybody.
Right, for this specific attack.
Yeah.
All right. All right, so you take a big old chunk out of this guy, and he is now down 2 spots. Or rather, he looks very weakened by this attack. You wouldn't know exactly how far down he is. All right. Are you? Oh, you prepared those 2 aims. So what are you going to do with your after your standard?
Nothing.
Okay.
I'm good here. This is where I'm going to stay forever.
All right, great. Sanatos.
Sanatos is going to, having opened the door, run away back in the line towards Nagy, who can cover him, and then he is going to shoot. There you go. He's going to shoot the guy closest to him.
Is that
just with a quick?
Yeah.
Is that the same guy you hit, Casey?
The guy on the left is the one that I hit.
the one on the right? Because the one who I think you're attacking is the other
Right. It'll have to be the one on the right. So I will shoot him, but he's still in range. So I get my point-blank shot. 18.
18. Let's see. I think that is not enough, I'm afraid. So the shot just grazes right past him and explodes on the wall behind.
And I'm out of the way, so I'm done.
Right. So what these guys are going to do is they are going to, working in tandem, the first one is going to assist, basically roll an attack to you can use aids on attacks as well to try to create an opening to attack Kelvin.
Okay. As a reaction to being attacked, I'm going to use my force shield.
All right. So that roll your use the force to see how strong your force shield is.
It is a SR 15.
All right. So that it'll last for 15 points of damage. And you can use, let's see, if you use a force point, you can boost it up by 5. And you can also maintain it by until it goes away by concentrating on it. Mm-hmm. So the first one that is trying to create an opening swings around wildly, clearly not trying to hit you, but at least trying to aid himself.
Mm-hmm.
The other one, oh goodness, now my dice is doing what it's supposed to do. And now in this game, and I want to confirm this, I believe criticals do not get confirmed. I think they're just automatic. But I will check that because that's a big difference right now. So I'll roll the, sorry for this.
Gilbert, use your force better.
It's all a bunch of.
Use the negate energy instead.
You can still use it on the attack. You would be
How many reactions do I have?
Oh, you're right. Never mind. You're right.
That's a good question, though. How many reactions do we have? Is it just one, or do we have multiple reactions?
I don't know that it's explicitly spelled out in the rules.
Sorry. Look up one thing at a time.
Yeah. So what I'm going to say is I'll keep criticals for now, like they are in D&D. I'll look it up between sessions. So for the next one, if they don't confirm, then they won't confirm. But for now, we'll let them confirm just for ease of this. For reactions, so he didn't confirm the critical, so there's no double damage on this. But for the reaction, it's not in the index. So I'll just say 1 reaction per turn, and I'll look that up in between as well.
Sounds good.
All right. So you take from this red, awful lightsaber. Where are my 8s? Where are my 8s? 6. 12. So your shield manages to absorb all of the damage from the lightsaber, but you also only have 3 points of shield left. All right. And their turns are now over. Mizad.
I will shoot the one on the left in the face.
All right.
It is short range. Wait. So I never bothered to actually look up any of the cover stuff because I just figured I'd be right next to them. Can I shoot the guy on the left? Or do I need to
Yeah, I don't worry. I don't. Yeah, because he's past the door. Kelburn's in the way, but it's not going to be an issue.
I'm tiny.
Yeah.
16.
16 is not enough to hit this guy.
Lame.
He dodges out of the way. His robes get singed a bit by the shot as it goes past him.
And then I will yell at them. Stop moving so much! I'm trying to hit you! And try to draw the fire to me.
And so you are now, they can only attack you, right?
Well, I roll
Persuasion. Right?
an 18, so that beats their
will? Is that right?
Their will defense, yes.
Okay, great. And that lasts until your next turn, correct?
The end of my next turn, correct.
Okay, great, cool. Are you moving at all? Or are you staying put?
Staying right there.
All right, great. Kelbrun,
Okay.
you just been slashed at.
Out of the two of them, which one looks the weakest?
Well, the only one that you've seen take a hit is the one that is to your right.
My right. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to turn to the one to my left.
All right.
Looking at him. Seriously. You should give me your lightsaber.
Ooh.
And I'm going to attempt to use a mind trick to get him to give me his lightsaber.
All right, let me see. Roll your use the force.
Yep.
Gutsy move by the young Jedi Master.
Oh, I'm going to add the 8 to that.
What is
24.
it against?
It's
Will defense, right?
if you
Yes.
equal or exceed the target's will defense, you may choose one of the following
Okay.
effects.
How many force points do you have left?
I have 5 left.
All right.
I've been using them like crazy.
You have been. All right. So he looks at you and says, "I will hand you my lightsaber," and he hands you his ignited red lightsaber. That is very large for you. If you were to actually try to hold this to any effect, you would have to use both hands.
Okay.
But you could if you wanted to. You're able to. It's yeah.
So that was my standard action.
Yes.
I will not wield it, but can I deactivate it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
As a swift.
As a swift action. Okay. What else do I have available to me?
You can move. If you move, you will provoke an opportunity attack from both of them, but the one is unarmed, but the other with his lightsaber, you would provoke that.
Okay. I've still got the damage thing up. I'll keep hold of his lightsaber.
Okay.
It's deactivated. So since I'm not really wielding it, does it actually require 2 hands, or can I have my active lightsaber in one hand?
It would require 2 hands for you to use it effectively in combat. But especially deactivated, it's basically just a piece of metal at this point.
Cool.
So,
All right. Then I am happy with having disarmed one of the Sith.
Great.
Okay.
Maggie. Oh, actually, sorry. Before the initiative resets, the door. Sorry, this is all over. Right here opens up, revealing 2 more Sith.
Aha!
And their initiatives are going to go in. Nagy will still get to go first, so I'm just going to add them in as you go. So what will Nagy do?
Nagy's going to disarm one of the Sith. Get it? Just going to shoot off an arm.
Heyo.
I am going to continue to pursue the guy that's next to Kelbrin.
All right, the one you shot
he's
before.
attacking my buddy. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the one that tried to hit him with it, and he shield blocked him, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, screw that guy. Oh,
Now you have to deal with my big sis.
Oh, sorry. I don't know if that overloads the speaker at all, but that certainly hits. And he is, I think he's just down. I think he's dead, honestly, with that kind of damage.
I think I might have exploded his head.
I think you also. I think that might just be the case.
Sorry, Kelbrin. Well,
Let me
dirty.
just double check his damage.
That was
stuff.
the one that was not disarmed.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct. All right. Let me just add this guy in here. All right. Nagy's gone. It is now Xanatos. So Xanatos, you've seen this other door is slid open. There's 2 more Sith lightsabers drawn, waiting for you.
I'm going to shoot the one that is disarmed
Okay.
because I just don't want people sneaking up behind us.
That is not the Jedi way. I need to teach you the truth.
I'm going to shoot him in the leg.
Oh, all right. Fair enough.
Well, that's fine then. That's the Jedi way, right?
Yeah.
Maim, dismember, harm, but don't kill.
Don't kill.
Oh,
Well-
I missed anyway. Doesn't even matter.
It seems
Roll the
you
10.
have the voice of Kelbrin in the back of your mind telling you don't kill them necessarily. Came in and you just
janked that shot.
Yes, absolutely. Are you
Kelbrin.
staying put otherwise, or are you going to?
No, I'm gonna move back there.
Okay,
I'm not space between me and the melee guys. That's what we go for.
smart.
And I'm done.
All right. Let's see. So this is one of the new guys now. He is going to, not under the effect of your power. He's still going to come up and attack with his lightsaber. What is your reflex defense?
28.
All right, he super misses. Super duper. And the next one is going to try his own luck. And will probably also super duper miss. Oh, geez. He actually drops his lightsaber when he super duper misses.
And I wave the one that I've taken.
So he just swings and swings a little too hard, and it just like flies out of his hand and lands like right around on this vent over here.
Thanks, guys. The armor's kind of heavy, and you're coming right up to me. Is real kind of you.
Actually, I think that was they're all going back to back. So this one is now going to he is going to draw out his pistol, and let's see if he has point blank.
I'm very disappointed in you.
Well, I'm a Sith. What do you expect? All
Are
right,
you sure I can't shoot him now after not meeting your lofty standards?
But even though of all of that, he's still going to be attacking Mizad because he realizes that this is the bigger threat. And you said 28 is your reflex defense?
Yeah.
Okay. He misses you. Great. So now we're moving past these guys.
Your friend failed to hit me. I took your weapon, and he's the biggest threat?
Well, look at him. He's huge. He's got big guns. I don't know. What are you trying to do?
He's got a point. I'm physically bigger. I think maybe he's just very literal when he speaks. But, sorry, Sith friends. I didn't mean to neglect you. I will now shoot you in the face.
Which one are you going for?
This guy. So, click the thing with the right thing, and I will tell you it's that guy.
Okay,
24.
you hit him. You're shooting?
I shot him with my blaster, and I am convincing them that I am, in fact, the biggest threat.
All right. Well, they are fully convinced of that fact, at least for now.
Eat my carbines!
Oh, actually, are you firing on? Because they have different types of shot. Is that right? Are you just doing single shots?
I'm doing single shots. I have no idea. Oh, you mean like an automated thing?
Yeah. So carbines, I believe they can do auto fire instead of single shots. Auto fire does kind of an area effect, but uses up 10 of your shots in order to do it.
I didn't look up any of that, so I'm doing single shots.
All right, great. Well, you knock him good in the face, and that clearly took the wind out of him, out of this guy. Are you going to do anything else with your turn?
Other than draw his fire? No.
No. All right, great. Kelbrin, he just shot at Mizad after being disarmed by you.
If you were disarmed, I wouldn't have attacked. But you pulled out a weapon. This is, in reality, it's your fault. As I will swing my lightsaber, not his, to hit him.
All right.
Guy, it hurts him more than it hurts you, I think.
He's very conflicted. I can hear it in his voice.
I like your little notes on all these. Let's see. I think a 20 is enough to hit. Just barely. All right. And so you
have been warned.
You just he manages the slash comes and it grazes just past him, singeing his clothes. You can tell that it takes a little bit out of him as it goes past. All right.
And then can I use my swift action to put his lightsaber in my utility belt?
Yes.
Okay. So I put away his lightsaber and I can focus on mine. Okay.
All right. Moving on. Nagy.
So literally, you've been warned barely gets out of his mouth, and then that happens.
Oh. Goodness gracious. He has been warned. All right. Let me do some math real quick. Okay. He's not doing well. Still standing, but clearly is not in a good spot.
You hear a shout across the room, "Impressive!"
He looks at you, glares, hatred in his eyes.
Playfulness in my eyes.
Yeah. All right. But you notice that the only reason this was able to really take the wind out of him is because of your careful aim. You got him right in the belly, and it just caused him
I'll never admit that to anyone.
Of course not. Of course not. All right. Xanatos.
Xanatos will shoot the guy to the south, or just to the bottom.
The one that
doesn't want to potentially miss and hit his. Does
he not want to potentially miss?
You know what? Actually, why not? We'll do this instead. He is going to, the one at the bottom, he's going to try and make a forced suggestion and say, "Good job. The training program is over. You can put your sword lightsaber away and await instruction."
The one at the bottom? Are you talking about the one that's next to me or the two next to Misad? No,
sorry. The two next to Misad. The one, right.
I think the one at the bottom rolled a nat 1 or something and threw his lightsaber across the room.
Yeah, the one that's engaged. This one right
here. Oh, very good. Then only one of them has a lightsaber left?
Yep.
Yes.
That one I will say, very good on the training. Put your lightsaber away and we'll review. Ooh. 16?
Yeah. Are you
I am
going
rolling crap today.
Are you
I'm going to
add
add
a force
I'm
point?
going to add
All
a
right.
force point.
Let's see this one.
Why did you roll?
What is exactly is a D26?
I rolled instead of 1d6. I rolled 1.
I'm trying to picture what a D26 would even look like. All right, so
20.
20. Okay, that is a much more reasonable roll, and I believe that is enough to cause him to disarm himself. It's against will, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, he looks at you as you say this to him. He looks at all of his friends who aren't holding lightsabers anymore, and you're like, oh well, okay, and he puts his lightsaber away. You're like, all right, well I guess we're done here. It's a strange training situation, sir, but I guess that's what it is.
That's right. And I'm done.
All right. Well, now it's this guy, and he dropped his lightsaber and is going to run over here to get it. That will provoke, I don't know if you have martial arts, I think you do. It will provoke an opportunity attack from Mizad.
I will take it.
All right. Ooh. I don't know that you can opportunity with a ranged weapon.
You can with the carbine and its shortened stock or whatever.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll buy it.
I did check that one.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So then that does hit. 13 damage isn't too much, but it does hit him a little bit, and he picks up his lightsaber and ignites it from where he stands. Moving on to this one down here with Kelburn. He's not having a good time, really, at all, and is going to again attack Mizad because, damn it, he is a Sith, and Sith do not give up. Sith never say die. What? 28 is your reflex?
Yep.
All right, he misses you. And he's looking very frustrated. And he will actually attempt to... Let's see. He's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That will provoke an attack of opportunity from Kelbrin, if you would like to take it.
Ha ha.
That does hit. Ooh, and you rolled 12 damage. Very nice, very nice. All right. Let me put that in here. He is not doing well, but damn it, he's still fighting. Because that is the way of it. Right, and now this next one next to you, Mizad is going to... He's going to attack you again. He's going to just try to blast you. Do whatever he can to save his people, and he misses so badly. Just absolute miss. And he's going to also attempt to leave you because he is not happy with you. But that will also provoke an attack of opportunity.
So, am I able to take multiple attacks?
Oh no, you're right. You're not. You don't have combat reflexes, do you?
No.
Okay, so he takes advantage of your distraction to attack his friend to try to get away. And he will shut this door with his swift, just with a... Oh, no, he's not. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he will move here and shut the door with his swift action.
Rude.
So he is out of line of sight for now. All right. It is now Mizad's turn.
I guess I will just shoot that guy who picked up his lightsaber.
All right. Roll it.
That is short range. 27.
Ooh. That certainly hits. All right.
And I will again yell at him. Say, hey! If you want to pick up the lightsaber, you want to run, or stay put and fight. Stop running away from me. And I will 2, 3, 4. Close the distance.
All right. And are you going to do the roll?
20. Yeah.
20. All right, great. Okay. It is now Kelburn's turn.
Okay. Hopping over to him as he's running away. I was talking to you. Can I use a force point to improve that?
Yes, I think it's any d20 roll.
Okay, so it's now
That's
20.
enough. That is now enough.
All right.
Let's see. I think that, so. He, with all of this, one last slash, the wounds, the damage he succumbs to the damage, and he collapses to the ground, not dead but not alive. He is unconscious. He's alive, but he's unconscious.
Okay. And that'll be it for me.
Alrighty. Nagy, you've seen now one of them is hidden behind a closed door. The other is currently engaged by Mizad with his carbine.
I clutch my rifle to my chest, and then I do a barrel roll right here.
Do a barrel roll. All right. So since you're moving, you won't get to the 2 actions to aim for this.
I thought moving was different than your swift actions.
It's 2 swift actions to aim.
Yes. So I didn't use any I didn't use any swift actions. I just moved.
Oh, so are you not going to attack this round? You're just going to line up the
No, I
shot?
am going to attack this round. I'm going to
So
do
you get a
the
standard.
usual
You get 1 standard, 1 move, and 1 swift, right?
I thought you got 2 swift.
You get 1 swift.
Oh.
But you can substitute like a move for a swift.
Oh, I see.
substitute down
Okay,
to
that's where
12
I was confused.
Well, actually, no. Hang on, because you prepared your 2 swifts to aim before the door opened, so it would stand to reason that you're aiming at the end of your turn.
Yeah.
Or your next.
I mean, if you want to be nice.
Yeah, I'll be nice.
Okay. You're very benevolent, DM.
Oh, thank you.
Say hello to my little friend. No!
Yeah.
Didn't.
Well,
worry about it.
with the aims or anything, it just
Too much
force
barrel rolls in all of my rolls.
yeah, you were focusing a
Use a
little bit
force
too
point.
much on being cool. You could use a force point.
Why not? I've got a bunch.
All you need is a 1. No, actually, maybe you need more than a 1. So roll it. Let's see if it works.
3.
That is
18?
actually not quite enough.
Oh.
So it does just miss him,
Forces
but it's
never-
close. It's real close. All right, Xanatos.
So I am going to run up here, and I know the computer's hostile to me, but I'm going to plug back in, and I can issue a standard action as a swift action.
Okay.
Because of some talents I have. So I'm just going to try to open that door that they just shut down. And pray the dice are on my side. 32.
32. So what exactly are you like? What is the command?
So
here?
the door that was just closed, I'm just opening that door.
Okay, that'll work.
And if it's hostile, I take a negative 10, so it's a 22 on the command.
That will work. It's not. It's hostile to you trying to like break into the system, but to issue routine commands like that wouldn't set off any kind of warnings.
Well, no, I understand that. It's just
Yeah.
it's leveled towards me. Really, just affects the DC.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. So it's not going to be hostile towards you because you're not doing something that would
Sure.
cause it to want to be hostile towards you. Are you doing anything else with your turn?
No, because that's my move, and well, actually, that's a move and a swift action, so I guess I could still shoot at him.
Yeah.
I'll shoot at the one above. Look up the name above Mizad. Sorry, Mizad.
Mizad.
24.
That certainly hits.
Ew.
25 damage is also a big ol' hit on this guy.
Good round for Xanatos.
Absolutely.
Not having to look at what he's doing, plugging in, issuing commands, shooting.
Oof.
Very convenient.
He is like on his last legs. This guy, like if
He's
that
still
shot,
alive.
if that shot was any more well aimed, he'd be not even on. He would be dead, just straight up dead. But just a little bit off, just a touch, and you know it. You can sense it. All right, now moving on. As you see these guys, they kind of look at each other and they realize, like, wait a second, we're Sith. We can use force powers. They're just, they're remembering this now, that they have the capability to do this. Definitely not because I wasn't doing everything they're able to. And he is going to attempt to use the force to harm you, Mizad. Let me roll that. What are your defenses? 'Cause I'm going to wager that this isn't enough regardless of what your defenses are. Which one it attacks?
28 reflex, 27 fortitude, 20
Okay.
will.
You're so strong.
Yeah. Let's see. I lost track of the page. All right. So, channeling into the darkest depths of the force, he reaches into himself in order to mess you up good with a harm spell of sorts. Now, I am sorry. Page 52.
I said he's trying to do a harm on me.
He is really, really trying to do you harm and is having a hard time finding exactly where he knows what harm will do to you, what kind of harm he'll do to you. There it is. He remembers now. He sees what it is. Let's see. Fortitude. Your fortitude was what?
27.
27. Oh, well, he does not do any harm to you, actually. Yeah, he succeeds in doing nothing except for wasting his energy. When he realizes that his attempt to drain the life force with the force from you doesn't work, he just looks very, very upset. Not even like scared, just sad.
Hey, buddy. I know not everyone has, up days. Sometimes you have a down day. I think this is a down day for you. Don't worry, it'll be over soon.
All right. Well, the other one is going to do the same thing to you.
That's the spirit.
And he will also try to boost this up a little bit. And also misses.
Guys, it's good. Just keep trying. Just keep. It's A for effort, guys.
And he, as the door is opened with his action, he will also tap in a code and close the door. No, that was the reveal, not the hide. Let me try that one more time. There we go. All right, Mizad.
Seems like your buddy's really intent on leaving you to die here alone.
Well, we die if we're not strong. That is the way of the Sith.
That sounds like it's true, because bang.
And as the as the energy bolt hits him in the stomach, he just looks at you and he says, "It appears that I am not strong," and he collapses unconscious.
I could have told you that without the whole death part.
Did you do that like the sideways, like gangster style?
Well, it's attached to my arm, so it's kind of like.
Gotcha.
He actually is not dead, though. He's just unconscious. He's knocked out. It was not quite enough to outright kill him, but it was enough to do enough to render him out of here. Now there's this one guy left.
I will walk
Calvin.
up to the door
Oh.
and knock on it.
Housekeeping.
Nobody's home. We're all done here. Everything is good.
So can I? Is the window breakable? Can I?
You can. Anything can be attempt. You can try.
You
Okay,
can
well,
certainly try.
So I shot the guy. Do I have any action to break a window? Can I?
Oh no, you could not. But he is in line of sight if you're looking through the window.
Okay, so I'm waving at him.
You can at least use your persuasion to make you the only target that he can have. So I'll reveal these areas again.
Yeah, he has line of sight, I guess. So
Yeah.
So I'm saying, come back, come back. I wasn't done yet.
He just looks and says, "No, you're scary. Leave me alone." Which you can only halfway hear through the window. Kelburn.
Use more of your magic. That was really effective.
Okay. We got one. I can only move 4 squares, right?
Correct.
It's not quite enough. I was hoping to get to a position where I could see him. Because I need line of sight to affect his mind.
I think you can
Yeah,
run
not
for
quite.
double move.
Just hold your action. The guy plugged into the door will open it in just a second.
Yeah.
Then I will step forward to here and hold my action if I can to mind trick him as soon as I can see him.
So what holding your action does, it means that your initiative will now always be. I guess it won't change your initiative now because you are acting after Matt, so it'll just keep you where you are.
Yep.
All right. Nagy, you can't see anybody from where you are, but you do know someone keeps hiding behind the door and getting pulled out from the door and hiding behind the door and desperately attempting to not be dead.
That's a really tricky. Do I have a sliver of a line of sight on him if the door does open, or do I have to move?
I would say no. I would say you'd have to move.
Okay. All right, and I will.
But since you can move and aim, since you had an extra swift at the end of the
I
last turn, so you would
get
still
ready.
have an aim left once the door
Yep.
opens.
Yep.
Or you would have fully aimed once the door opens.
Okay, so I will just roll off of the edge of the thing there.
Right.
No problem.
That seems reasonable within the realm of capability.
And then let's see, can I shoot through his legs?
Yeah, I mean you're he's not like right up close with him, so you would be able to line up the shot, so it wouldn't risk Xanatos at all.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah.
All right, then we'll stay put.
Cool. Xanatos.
Xanatos is going to, as an action, try to improve his relationship with the computer. And I haven't known this before because I keep forgetting, but I have the equivalent of advantage on that roll.
Okay.
34 should be enough.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
Yeah, 35.
So 35 to improve that.
So that gets me to unfriendly.
Yeah, which is better because he's not going to the computer won't notify anybody.
Right.
Here.
And then as a swift action, I'm going to issue the routine command to just open the door just like last time.
Okay. And it will open for you.
If I can get to my character.
Now-
I'll just take the 10 and do it 30 to open it.
Now, Aaron or Teo, make your use the force roll
Okay.
because the door is opening.
As soon as I see him, I will mind trick, walk inside, and give me your lightsaber.
Okay.
Because this is the one that put his lightsaber away.
Yes.
I'm asking him to give it to me.
Okay. Yes,
That's
that
34.
absolutely works. Now he can't walk to you because he doesn't have a move action, but he will toss his lightsaber to you.
Okay.
Yeah. And you catch it, we would presume.
Yep.
Now.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I have one more thing before my turn ends, but keep going.
Oh well, because also, Nagy has a ready action to fire when the door opens. Is that a fair understanding of what just happened?
That'd be great.
Yeah. So roll it. The door just opened. No good. No good. All right.
My gun's clogged.
Yeah.
I need to clean it more often.
Yeah, you had Xanatos in the way, and it was just a little hard to aim and hit him with everything else going on. So Xanatos, continuing. You had one
Since
more
I
thing?
haven't moved, I'm going to use another swift action to issue a command to open the one door that hasn't been opened yet.
All right. I will reveal that right now. You don't see anything out of the ordinary there. There's more hallway.
All right. I'm done.
Cool. And it is now this guy's turn. Sorry, I just passed him, but he is going to, without a weapon, without anything, he just has his blaster. He's going to take his blaster out. He's going to move. So he has a clear shot on Mizod, who is a thorn in his side right now. Just the worst guy, constantly threatening him. He will fire, and he will almost certainly miss. He does. And so another attack effortlessly right behind you. And now it's your turn, Mizod.
That's the spirit. Come back and fight. I will now shoot you in the face.
16.
You will not shoot him in the face.
I
You
will
will miss him in the face.
shoot right over your shoulder. That's a warning shot.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Draw fire again.
Yes. Let's see the roll. That is enough to draw fire. All right. Kelbrin, one remains standing. What do you do?
Okay, well, putting his lightsaber in my belt, so that makes 2 Sith lightsabers right now, I will look disappointed at this fellow and attack him with my lightsaber.
All right.
Does a 17 hit him?
17 does not hit him.
That's
So
annoying.
it is annoying. He managed to dodge out of the way, look at you, disgust in his eyes. Not only are you a gross bird man, but you are also a Jedi, which is the worst kind of person.
The worst kind of disgusting bird man.
Yes.
The Jedi kind.
Indeed, indeed. All right.
That's it for me.
Nagy.
I'll get him.
Oh, wait, hang on. You're
Actually,
17. You were
yeah.
flanking. So you get a
Yes.
+2, because there's no advantage, but you get a +2, so that's a 19?
Yeah.
That hits.
Aha! Ha 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 ha!
So 11 damage. All right. So it's not enough to, take him down, but it does whittle away at his defenses a little bit.
Then after the attack, I will step once more through the door
Okay.
to this position.
I will reveal the rest of this area to you right now. And it is Nagy's turn.
That oughta leave a mark.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. And that automatically takes him down 1 on the track. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So he is not doing well. Still standing. This guy is tough. He's, if anything, the Sith are resilient, as this poor soul is clearly demonstrating. Let's see. All right. He's down but not out. Well, not down, but he's neither down nor out. But not doing well. Xanatos.
I will shoot him.
All right.
21.
Ooh, that hits. And he is down. Unconscious. And that resolves this round
Then
of...
I got him. Nagy hit him so hard it kind of spun around, and I got him in the back.
Right.
Then I would
Great.
like to take a moment to recover all of the lightsabers off of all of the bodies.
Of course. Of course.
Xanatos, you're lucky you can't, see and stuff, because you would not believe the shots Nagi was taking. They were flying right through your legs, man. That was crazy.
I think he knows.
I do know. I do know. Nagi is perhaps. Excuse me. I do know. Nagi is perhaps the greatest sharpshooter in the whole Republic. That's why she is so useful on this team.
Now, as you are finishing this up, you notice the doors to the south open up, and the figure walks towards you, clapping. You recognize this man as the name that I don't recall.
Drono?
As Alistair Drono, yes. He looks at you. Congratulations on your victory, soldiers. It seems you're here for something that I might have of yours. But let's not shed any more blood for the Republic's awful, misguided war.
I'm going to close the doors behind him and lock them.
You were going to close the doors in front of him.
It's like, no, buddy. Let's be quiet for a second here. He looks behind him like, okay, I guess this is what we're doing then. We need not shed blood. What do you want?
I'm assuming my mind tricks haven't recovered.
Not yet. No, it takes about 10 minutes for them to recover.
Okay.
So if this was, enough time passed, but it pretty much just ended.
I want you to give up your evil ways and return to the Republic.
All right. Roll a persuasion. He is hostile to you right now. So it will be, even though you have your lightsaber out, that is not affected by the crystal.
It is not affected by?
No, only indifferent and unfriendly are affected.
Ah, okay. So do I have to put any modifiers to that?
Just roll a persuasion check.
Okay.
Or we'll use the force for you. What'd you get?
A 19. Which
Okay.
means I rolled a natural 1.
That's great that a natural 1 though is a 19 for you. I mean, if we're being totally fair on this, let's see. So, it's will defense. That might actually. You can tell that from your words. He is not necessarily any more friendly. Like, he's not more endeared to you. But you can tell that he's also not going to immediately call whoever is more has more power than him in this. You have my ear. What's your offer?
First, we require the team that was here before, that you return them to us as a show of faith before any further negotiation.
I'm afraid I can't do that. There are higher powers at play here. I'm sure you understand as stooges to the Republic that sometimes there are just things you can't do.
I am the highest power you need to worry about right now. Give us our people.
Like I said, I have no authority over your people. You are free to check the prisons that we have here, but you will not find your people there. Common scum, people trying to steal from the park are in there, but your people are in a worse spot than anybody here could possibly conceive of.
And you're going to take us there, then?
Maybe. What's in it for me?
Doing what's right.
Clearly.
Good on your conscience.
How about we don't kill you?
I like that much better. The conscience thing doesn't bother me much. Clearly, I've left that behind. The galaxy needs the Sith in order to stop the Republic from these wars.
As you can see quite clearly, the Sith are just failures. They're giving you false hope. They're giving you a glimpse of some modicum of power, convincing you that it is the way that you need to follow. But it's not. It is not the way. The light, the Republic, that is the way to true peace. Please, come back to us, and we will take you.
Try another persuasion.
Okay. Come on. I need to get better than a 19. 34. That's
Okay.
better.
Well, he is indifferent to you right now. He's not going to help you, but he's not going to harm you.
Do I have to buy you dinner first? What? Come on now.
Look, I can get you where you need to go, but I cannot help you. My standing in this organization and in the galaxy at large, if I help you further than this, even if the Republic wins this war, my life will be forfeit. So I can send you where you need to be, I'm not doing anything else. Not for you, bird.
Fine. Where are they?
He points you out to a location, a hallway, down to the left, to the west. If you follow that hallway down, you'll find a flight of stairs. Go down there, and there's a chamber where unknown sorts of activities are going on. The Sith, in their power, they do some kind of strange magic. I'm not really sure what it is, but that's where they do it, and that's where your allies are. And if you want to get them, yeah.
Can I see if he's trying to put us into a trap?
Sure.
I was going to say, while he's doing this, I'm also like trying to get schematics out of the computer to see if what he's saying is true about the layout.
All right, so Nagy, get a perception. Xanatos, do a use computer.
I'll go ahead and re-roll that on the chance that I'll get something better. I have to take it, whatever it is.
That was the use computer.
Ah, it's worse.
All right, well, as far as you can tell, he is not leading you into any more dangerous of a situation than he's making it sound like it is. From the use computer, you're able to get some schematics of the area, at least to show that there is a hallway. From the schematics that you see, Xanatos, it looks like the hallway ends in just a storage room. But yeah, so you see that the hallway ends, and there's just a dead end there.
How many Sith do you have in this facility?
Truthfully, counting the ones that you've felled, I would say no more than 20.
Look, I don't think I've got enough room on my belt. I would rather not have to kill too many lost souls. Do you have any suggestions on how we could perhaps reduce the casualties on your side? As it's clear, that's the only side that will have casualties.
These Sith, if you haven't noticed, they will fight to the end. And if you want to get your friends back, be prepared for violence. The ones down there, they're more coordinated. They're more prepared. They know you're here. They're ready for you. Don't be so confident about yourself. They've got strong numbers, some of the stronger members. If you want your friends back, you got to go get them. They're not going to last much longer, but it won't be peaceful.
Violence sounds good to me.
All right.
Then what do you think we should do about him? And I'm turning to my companions.
This one?
Him?
Yes, about this guy.
He seems legit. I mean, seems like a simple businessman to me.
I have the same concerns as before. If we let him go, we then have danger to our rear and could be attacked from behind by reinforcements.
So I will walk up to him. And I will do so
Alright.
intimidatingly.
So intimidatingly.
We need some assurances. We need to know when we go down there, you're not going to stab us in the back.
We could always stab him in the back first. I have a small knife here.
You're looking to get some dark side points there.
I'm trying to aid with the intimidation. My character isn't genuinely interested in like bloodshed, but he wants to, scare the guy.
So that's my persuasion is the intimidation attempt with the +2.
Yes.
That +2 is in there from my scarred background.
Great.
And I'm trying to give him +2 to aid with
So roll your persuasion to see if it helps.
Yeah. It's the persuasion.
I mean, it's not the threshold is not high to aid.
No. His monochromatic. Oh, there we go.
There you go. So you can tell that he seems to be taking your threat seriously. He knows what happened to all of his allies out here. He Looks at you. I promise I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm in it. I'm here. If you let me live, maybe I can join the Republic, come back, give you guys some secrets. I can work for your side again. I don't know.
I've known guys like him. They're legit. They'll hold up.
You seem like you have a pretty cushy setup here. Why don't you give me your credit chip?
I don't carry that with me. That's not here. And Kelbrin, roll your perception because you want to see if you believe him.
Yeah. 28.
28. Yeah, he seems checks out.
Okay. Well, fine. Let's go.
Are you sure? This guy, he looks Weasley to me.
But Weasley lead an honest life.
If we kill him, unarmed, willing participant after he has, although begrudgingly, helped us, we are no better than they are.
I could give him a
Set
gun.
the right example. No, don't give him a gun. Please don't give him.
If it would make you feel better, I can find some weapons to give this guy. But if I'm asking if you're sure that we could trust him.
I'm sure. Acting out of self-preservation, he won't hinder us while we're here.
Can I ask you what your name is? You mind if I knew? I'm Nagi.
Well, you don't recognize me? Stooges to the Republic? Not one of you
yeah,
yet.
you're that guy. I saw you once from a distance.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay. All right. Well, I'll catch you around later then.
Buddy, you have an inflated self of your self-importance. Inflated sense of your self-importance is what I meant to say, and I totally said the first time when we retconned that.
Yes.
We
well,
are-
what you call inflated, I call perfectly appropriate.
We are the best at what we do. And if Kelbran says to let him go, that is the appropriate course of action. But we will advise you, we will contact you or someone from the Republic soon, and you will be expected to comply. And if you oppose us later, we are the best at what we do, and we will show you much more personally.
Fair enough. I know how the Republic works. I know a threat when I hear one. I have no interest in dying, so you can count on me for now.
Very good. When we exit this facility, I expect food and a little bit of money to aid us on our escape.
See what we can do. I think you guys have a fair enough way about this place as it is.
There were some giant leg things. More of those, please.
Can be arranged. Now, if you stay much longer, I might change my mind. I might not be quite as endeared to you. So,
Yeah, with that, I'm walking away.
all right.
I closed the door on him because he's behind a door, so now I shut that one. So he's locked behind it.
Nice.
I roll underneath it, as it should.
Just in time. Great. So, do you follow his lead, or do you find him a liar, in spite of your rolls?
Checking the schematics where he said there was stairway, the schematics say it only ends in a storage closet. I recommend we proceed with caution.
You also said there were going to be hidden passageways, right?
That is quite possibly. The schematics are only as good as the previous instructions, and there may be modifications that are not present on the schematics.
Okay. Well, let's go check out this storage closet.
All right. So as you walk through the halls, decorated with all kinds of Sith paraphernalia, they're really not doing much to hide once you're this far in. You come across a storage closet right here, and in that closet, consistent and in line with what he was telling you, there is actually a secret passageway leading down deeper into the facility. And we will leave it at that.
Ooh.
Just a little bit further until you might be able to rescue your friends. And I will now pass it off to our regular Dungeon Master to give us some wrap-ups and the like. But I hope all of you viewers have enjoyed this. Let us know if you did. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Stephen. Thank you very much for running that session for us. Okay, so to catch everyone up on the state of our usual campaign, we had to end a little bit early last session because of an emergency. We will join in next week back in the action, trying to figure out why Gamel and Aaron have suddenly disappeared and become trapped, and what their situation is. The week after that will be the season finale of that campaign. We will be coming to the end of our first full-length campaign at that point. And we've had a blast doing it. We absolutely have loved playing together and playing this particular campaign. Once that is finished, Stephen will be finishing up a second part to this adventure. So if you do enjoy the Star Wars, you will get another episode, courtesy of Stephen here. But once that's finished, we will get right back into the next story. Now, we want to keep providing more content that you guys will enjoy, that you will continue to watch from this point on. And we want to try out different systems as well as just D&D 5th edition. We've tested out the Star Wars Saga. We will be trying out Pathfinder and Shadowrun, some other systems later on. If you enjoy our games, if you enjoy watching us play and would like to help support us in our endeavor to do more, please check out our Patreon, where you can get exclusive access to a Discord channel to chat with us outside of the game, and also even join us for a game or two every now and then. The link to our Patreon is shown in the description below. Thank you very much, everyone. Hopefully we will see you all next week. And until then, good night.